Chapter 2379. He took a towel and wiped himself. Because his back was also soaked in sweat, he took off his jacket. After taking off his jacket, his powerful muscles were revealed. Yi Li's muscles were not like those of overly muscular fitness trainers. This kind of muscular figure gave people a sense of strength, but it did not feel too excessive. The people in the courtyard also saw Yi Li's appearance when he took off his jacket. Actually, it was very common for people in the countryside to be topless. This was because the men in the countryside looked like this when they went to work in the fields. They did not feel embarrassed to be topless. When it was time for lunch, Anil was hungry, so he came back helplessly. He wanted to have some backbone, but unfortunately, backbone could not be eaten. His stomach was growling from hunger. He was the one suffering, not his imperial brother. It was not worthwhile for him to do this for his imperial brother. Sigh, Anil sighed heavily. In the end, it was because he was not capable enough. Otherwise, he would have known how to take charge of his own life. When he came back, he saw Yi Li bathing in the courtyard. That muscular figure was exposed to the air, and he almost vomited blood. He knew that Yi Li had a good figure, but he did not expect Yi Li's figure to be so good. His gaze landed on Yi Li, and for a moment, he could not look away. He was so excited that he almost vomited blood, but he could not help but continue to look. He kept screaming in his heart, "Damn, damn, damn." This scene was really explosive. It would be fine if it was someone else, but it just had to be Yi Li, the person he loved the most. How could he not have some thoughts when he saw him topless? Not far away, the emperor saw this scene and was a little angry. He quickly walked forward and blocked in front of Anil. He covered Anil's eyes and whispered in Anil's ear, "Damn girl, shameless. What are you looking at? Imperial brother." Anil, who was blindfolded, could not do it. He quickly pushed the emperor away. "You're still looking. You've only been out for a few days. Have you forgotten all the etiquette and shame you've learned before?" The emperor asked in a serious tone. I didn't. I just looked at it by accident." "Seriously?" Anil pouted unhappily. "You still dare to say that? I'll teach you a lesson when we get back." I'm not going back. I want to stay here." Anil still said with some firmness. "Stay here? Hee. Wicked girl, was it because of Yi Li? I see that the way you look at him is a bit different." The emperor's eyes were somewhat sizing him up. He narrowed his eyes and stared at Anil. Anil felt a little guilty and replied stubbornly, "No. No. Of course not. Damned girl, don't I know you well enough? What can you hide from me?" The corners of the emperor's mouth curled up as if he had seen through Anil. Anil felt hurt. Her imperial brother was really bullying her. He wanted her to go back, saw through her thoughts, and mercilessly exposed her. He did not give her any face at all. So what if it is? I like Yi Li. I like him. So what? He's handsome and capable. It's normal to admire him, right? Brother, I won't go back. I won't let you and imperial mother arrange my marriage. Chapter 2380. Anil said with a stubborn expression. Before she met Anil, she simply didn't want to marry someone she didn't like. But now she met Yi Li. She was determined to marry Yi Li even if she had to marry in the future. She was used to being thick-skinned, so she wasn't embarrassed to say this in front of the emperor. The emperor frowned. "Anil, don't forget that you're a princess. With your status, your marriage isn't something you can decide. Your husband, the future prince consort, was carefully selected by imperial mother for you. They are all giants among men. Your status is only worthy of the best. How could a country bumpkin like Yi Li not be worthy of your status? What's wrong with Yi Li? I think Yi Li is pretty good. How could a normal country bumpkin compare to him?" Anil couldn't help but defend Yi Li. She never felt that the status of a princess was very noble. If this status was a reason to bind her, then she would rather not have this status. Forget about whether Yili was worthy of her. As long as Yili could accept her, she would rather abandon everything and be with Yili. He's nothing, how can he not be a country bumpkin? Alright, stop being so willful. Your parents' orders and matchmaker's words are not for you to mess around with. Imperial older brother. You're my good imperial older brother, please help me. Anil immediately put on a pitiful expression and looked at the emperor with pleading eyes. Help you? Anil, it's not like you don't know. Although Zhen is the monarch of a country and can make a lot of decisions, I can't control imperial mother's affairs. What imperial mother wants to do is her own decision. How can I dare to intervene? The emperor mercilessly refused. Anil pursed her lips and her face was full of grievance. If even her imperial older brother couldn't do anything, then it was even more impossible for imperial mother. Then there would be no chance between her and Yili. Royal brother. Why don't you give Yili an official position? As long as you say it, it's not a big deal. Anil looked at the emperor and begged. An official position? How high was his rank? If he didn't do anything, it would be unreasonable for us to suddenly bestow him a high official position, and it would be inevitable that others would have opinions. But if it was just a small official position, it wouldn't have any effect. Can imperial mother take a fancy to someone with a small official position? Although what the emperor said was true, it was another thing to hear the emperor say the truth. Anil's face was gloomy and unhappy. He did not know what to do. However, but what? Anil asked anxiously. However, I feel that this young Master Yi is quite capable. If he can serve the country, he will definitely achieve great things. If he can do something, it won't be difficult for me to slowly promote him. Hearing the emperor's words, Anil's heart was filled with hope again. That's right, that's right. Imperial older brother, young Master Ye's martial arts are very powerful. If imperial older brother can make him serve the court, he will definitely be able to achieve great things. Anil began to look forward to it. People like Yili should not be ordinary. He hoped that his imperial older brother could really use Yili. His imperial older brother helplessly curled his lips, but young Master Yi doesn't have that intention. If he is willing, we would be happy to use such a talent. Chapter 2381. The emperor pondered for a moment and felt that Anil's words made some sense. It would be a pity not to make use of a talent like Yili. It seemed that he had to properly persuade Yili while he was at Zhao Yun'er's house and make Yili willing to work for the court. Anil, if this Yi Gongzi agrees with us, then you have to come back with us. Don't wander around outside. It's not like the palace outside. You're just lucky that you didn't meet any bad people. The emperor warned. Anil nodded heavily, of course, imperial brother. If Yi Gongzi can serve the country and become a high official, then I can marry him. I'll listen to everything imperial brother says. Alright. In the next few days, the emperor did his best to persuade Yili while he was at Zhao Yun'er's house. He wanted Yili to accept him and serve the court. Although Yili was a bit surprised when he found out about the emperor's identity, he quickly recovered and put on his usual aloof attitude. He didn't care about the emperor's identity at all. If it was anyone else, they probably wouldn't have the guts. However, Yili was like a proud little prince. In Yili's opinion, the court's matters had nothing to do with him. He didn't care about the court or the country. As long as he was happy and comfortable, that was the most important thing. However, from the conversation between Zhao Yun'er, the emperor, and Mu Lianfeng, he found out that Mu Lianfeng was going to the border. This meant that Mu Lianfeng would be away from Zhao Yun'er for a while. This wasn't the most important thing. What Yili was worried about was that the matter Mu Lianfeng was dealing with this time might be more troublesome. He didn't know how long it would take. If Mu Lianfeng couldn't come back for a long time, Zhao Yun'er would miss him very much. If she were to encounter any danger again, Zhao Yun would be worried all day long. For Yili, he did not have many goals in life. his only goal was to make sure that Zhao Yun was well. Nothing else mattered to him. This time, in order for Mu Yanfeng to return earlier and take less risks, Yili told the emperor that he was willing to follow Mu Yanfeng to the frontier fortress to take charge of the matters there and assist Mu Yanfeng. When the emperor saw that Yili had taken the initiative to volunteer, he knew that it was not easy. How could he refuse Yili? He immediately agreed. A few days later, Mu Yanfeng and Yili did not stay long in Shui Lan village before they set off for the frontier fortress. She didn't know how long this farewell would take. After Mu Yanfeng left, although Zhao Yun often missed Mu Yanfeng, her life was not affected too much. She still lived her life as usual. She still cared about oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea. After Qin Yuan recuperated at Zhao Yun's house for a while, the injury on his butt was much better. After a few more days of recuperation, he would be able to get out of bed and walk around. Zhao Ping'er, on the other hand, was preparing for a major undertaking of hers, which was to become beautiful. Speaking of which, the third household was a bit surprised. They originally thought that Zhao Ping'er's face could not be saved. However, Zhao Ping'er went to the town's doctor to take a look. Unexpectedly, it could be slowly treated. The doctor prescribed a medicine for the birthmark on Zhao Ping'er's face. After applying it every day, the birthmark on her face became lighter and lighter. Chapter 2382. Due to these improvements in her external appearance, Zhao Ping'er looked a lot prettier than before. As the saying goes, a fair complexion covers up 3 ugly things. When a person was fair and her skin was better than before, she would look a lot prettier. Zhao Ping'er was very satisfied with her changes. She would look at herself in the mirror every day just to see the minute changes in her appearance. Although she had spent quite a lot of money buying ointment and medicine from the doctor, she had already spent 20 to 30. In such a short period of time, he had already spent 20 to 30 taels. If he wanted to fix his entire face, he would need at least 60 to 70 taels. To a country bumpkin, 60 to 70 taels was definitely a huge amount of wealth. An ordinary family would probably scrimp and save for their entire life and might not even have 60 to 70 taels of silver. However, to Zhao Yun, the restaurants in Yang City had an income every day, so she was not too worried about money. As long as she could fix her face, then everything would be worth it. Since money could be exchanged for beauty, people like Zhao Ping would spare no effort to exchange for it. Zhao Ping walked in front of Qin Yuan with a shy look and asked Qin Yuan, "Big brother Yuan, take a look. How's my face recently?" Qin Yuan sized up Zhao Ping'er and saw that Zhao Yun's face was much better than before. He praised, "Ping'er, you've become really prettier these few days." It was not easy to receive Qin Yuan's praise. Zhao Ping'er felt sweet inside. "Is that so? Of course. Big brother Yuan. You're not trying to make me happy, right?" Zhao Ping'er stared at Qin Yuan and asked with a burning gaze. "Of course not. Ping'er, I'm speaking the truth. You've really become prettier. The birthmark and spots on your face have faded a lot, and your skin is much fairer too." Qin Yuan's gaze landed on Zhao Ping'er and could not shift away. In fact, after Zhao Ping'er's skin recovered, her facial features were really good. If the birthmark could be completely removed, her skin would become fair and smooth. Not only would she not be ugly, but she would also look like a great beauty. From the looks of it, he had profited. Why didn't he know that Zhao Ping'er was actually quite pretty before? Zhao Ping had a blissful look on her face. She chuckled and said, "Big brother Yuan, the doctor said that after another month, the things on my face will all be removed. At that time, I won't be ugly anymore. I know that my looks are a little too shabby. I'm a little unworthy of Big brother Yuan. When I'm not so ugly anymore, Big brother Yuan will say that I'm your wife in the future, and I won't embarrass you anymore." Zhao Ping said sincerely. This was also what she was thinking. She was really too ugly. When Qin Yuan had married her, she had been laughed at so many times. Even if Qin Yuan did not despise her now, Zhao Ping still did not want to embarrass Qin Yuan. The reason why she became prettier this time was not only because she did not want to continue being ugly and changed for Qin Yuan's sake, but also because she did not want Qin Yuan to embarrass himself because of having a wife like her. After hearing Zhao Ping's words, Qin Yuan was very touched. What a silly woman. She always thought of him before doing anything. How could he not cherish this opportunity? Qin Yuan held Zhao Ping's hand and said with an expression on his face, Ping, even if you're still the same and have not become prettier, I won't despise you. Chapter 2383. Zhao Ping was also moved by Qin Yuan's words. She felt that everything was worth it for her big brother Yuan to be able to change from his previous attitude to this. With big brother Yuan around, life would always develop in a beautiful direction. Big brother Yuan, you're so nice. Zhao Ping said with a touched face. Ping, you're the best. Qin Yuan smiled slightly and also replied to Zhao Ping, The two of them gazed at each other affectionately. Zhao Ping even had an indescribable sense of happiness. She and big brother Yuan's relationship was really getting better. When she became beautiful again, she didn't know how happy she would be. The more she thought about it, the more excited Zhao Ping became. In the past, Zhao Ping felt that God was unfair to her. She was so ugly, yet she couldn't get married. Now, she felt that God wanted her to wait for Qin Sheng's arrival. At least, God was slowly giving her what she didn't have in the past. It was as if he was making up for what he owed her in the past. On Zhao Yun's side, she didn't have much to do after Mu Yanfeng left. Every day, she would cook in the countryside and take care of the children. Because there were many people in the family, there were many things that others could help with. Therefore, Zhao Yun was very relaxed and not tired. The weather also gradually turned a lot colder. Zhao Yun began to prepare to build a pigsty. It was very easy to buy a piece of land in the village. She also got Zhao Wenhua to invite a bricklayer and her eldest uncle and second uncle over. She also invited some men to help. Because the busy season of farming had passed, the rice in the fields had basically been harvested. The men in the countryside also had nothing to do at home. Many men were looking for this kind of work. Therefore, it was very easy for Zhao Yun's family to find people to come back and help with the work. In order to make his brothers' lives easier and help each other more, Zhao Wenhua asked Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Wentao to help him. He paid them 35 copper coins a day and even provided them with lunch. Zhao Wenshui was very happy. As a man, the most inconvenient thing for him was to cook. He hadn't cooked for decades, so how could he possibly know how to? He didn't have a wife at home, so he couldn't count on others. He also couldn't keep troubling his fourth brother, so he could only brace himself and do it himself. However, his culinary skills were too poor. The food he made was hard to swallow. Zhao Tianyu cried and refused to eat. After a period of torment, Zhao Wenshui felt that he had lost a lot of weight due to hunger. Now that he was helping his third brother's family with their work, the best thing he could do was to have a meal at noon, which would more or less solve some of his problems. Zhao Wenhua had already contacted someone to order the bricks and tiles for the pigsty and sent them to Shuilan village. He had been preparing to build the pigsty for the past few days. Once the pigsty was built, he could raise pigs. Zhao Yun's youngest aunt's family could come over and busy themselves with raising pigs. In fact, according to Zhao Yun's family's current wealth, they didn't need to earn money at all. The money they had now was enough to eat and drink well for the rest of their lives. However, if they didn't do anything at home every day, they would feel that their lives were too empty. If there was something that they could work on, they would feel that their lives were more promising. Moreover, building a pigsty was a long-term skill. If they asked their relatives to help, they would also be able to earn money from the work. It was better to teach a man to fish than to give him a fish. No matter how rich she was, she couldn't give it to others for no reason. She had to make everyone rich together. Chapter 2384. The only thing she could do was to help the people she was close to not have to work so hard so that they could live more comfortably. Everything was going according to Zhao Yun's plan. Everything was proceeding in an orderly manner and they did not encounter any trouble or obstacles. The day before they started work, Zhao Wenshui suddenly ran to the third branch's house crying and started complaining to them. Zhao Yun's family asked with concern, "Second brother, what's wrong with you?" "Yeah, why is second brother crying all of a sudden? What happened?" Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were a little confused. Zhao Wenshui was still fine yesterday. How did he suddenly become like this? Moreover, Zhao Wenshui was bawling loudly as if he had encountered something very serious. Zhao Ping had already applied the ointment on her face. She happened to be in the courtyard and asked Zhao Wenshui, "Second uncle, why are you crying so sadly? Did my grandmother die?" If Hu Chunhua really died, she would probably clap her hands and praise her. That old witch liked to cause trouble every day. She should have been dealt with long ago. How could she continue to be so carefree? After Zhao Ping finished speaking, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao both glared at Zhao Ping. This girl really did not use her brain before speaking. "Ping, what nonsense are you talking about? How could you curse your grandmother like that?" "That's right. You like to talk nonsense. How could your grandmother die when she was fine? If your grandmother heard this, she would probably settle the score with you." Zhao Ping pursed her lips and replied unhappily, "Father, mother, I was just saying it casually. Do you have to be so fierce to me?" Liang Jinxiao said with a solemn face, "Sigh, when will you change your character, lass? You don't even think before you speak." Zhao Ping saw that Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were really angry, so she didn't say anything. After Zhao Ping stopped talking, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, you haven't told us what happened." When Zhao Wenshui thought of this, he started crying again. "Wu, third brother, third sister-in-law, I feel so aggrieved." Zhao Wenhua quickly asked, "Why?" "Second brother, tell us quickly. How would we know if you don't tell us?" "Wu. Third brother, third sister-in-law, second brother might really be single for the rest of his life." Wah. Second brother. Second brother, what should I do in the future?" The more Zhao Wenshui spoke, the sadder he became. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao looked at each other. What did Zhao Wenshui mean by this? "Second brother. What do you mean by you'll be single for the rest of your life? Why did you suddenly say that?" Wu. Zhao Wenhua choked a few more times. "Your second sister-in-law and second brother are really impossible. She's actually getting married. I thought that as long as I persevered, your second sister-in-law would agree to forgive me and I could live happily with her in the future. Who knew that she's already preparing to marry someone else? That means that it's impossible between us. What should I do? How can your second sister-in-law be so cruel to me? She's really abandoning me." After hearing Zhao Wenshui's words, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but sigh. In fact, they had already known about this for a long time. Previously, they had seen Li Chuiying and Zhao Wenshui together in Yang City. They also knew that the two of them were about to be together, but they didn't dare to tell Zhao Wenshui about it. Chapter 2385. After all, he knew that Zhao Wenshui would definitely be sad when he found out. Zhao Wenshui finally decided to change. He wanted to live a good life and find Li Chuiying. He wanted Li Chuiying to live a good life with him. If Zhao Wenshui knew that Li Chuiying chose to be with Zhao Ping, would he lose his determination to continue living a good life? Sometimes, life was like this. There was only one constant goal. Only when one had a plan and had something to look forward to could one live a good life. Only then could one make up one's mind and stick to the path one should take. However, once this dream was shattered, one might not be able to recover from the setback and lose the motivation to continue living a good life. After all, the truth could not be concealed. Zhao Ping was from the same village as them. Even if they tried to hide this matter, they could not hide it for too long. This time, he didn't know where Zhao Wenshui had heard the news from. After hearing the news, he started bawling his eyes out in grief. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao sympathized with Zhao Wenshui. They knew that Zhao Wenshui had changed a lot recently. He worked hard and was very different from before. Second brother, don't be sad. This is second sister-in-law's choice. As time passes, she will slowly forget about it. You work hard now and earn more money back. Later, find a few reliable matchmakers to help you search. You will definitely be able to find a woman who is willing to live with you. Zhao Yunlong patted Zhao Wenshui's shoulder and said. Liang Jinxiao also responded, yes, second brother, don't be sad. Second sister-in-law must not know about your current situation. When she comes back and sees that you have changed, she will believe it. Then, she might be willing to continue living with you. No matter what, second sister-in-law is Tianyu's mother. Which mother would bear to let her child suffer? Living with you is the best for Tianyu. Hearing Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Wenshui blinked and looked up to ask, third brother, third sister-in-law, is that really the case? Yes, second brother. It's useless to think so much now. Don't think about it. Living a good life is the best. Woo-woo. Zhao Wenshui could not help but wipe the tears from the corners of his eyes. He could not bear the thought of Li Chuiying living with another man. In his heart, how could he not know that Zhao Yunlong and Liang Jinxiao were saying these words to comfort him? Once Li married Zhao Ping, it would be difficult for Li Chuiying to come back to live a good life with him. However, he was willing to accept this lie. This way, he could deceive himself and give himself some hope. Otherwise, he felt that there was nothing to look forward to living a good life. Second brother, don't cry. Men don't cry easily. It's not good for a man to cry. People will laugh at you if they see you like this. Zhao Wenhua continued to persuade him. Yes. Second brother, calm down first. Zhao Wenshui choked and wiped the corners of his eyes. Second brother, sit down and rest for a while. Don't tire yourself out. Yes, Zhao Wenshui sat down on a stool and tried to hold back his tears. Seeing Zhao Wenshui like this, Zhao Yun felt that he was inexplicably adorable. She had never seen Zhao Wenshui so adorable before. Chapter 2386. After comforting Zhao Wenshui for a while, Zhao Wenshui went back to old Zhao's house. In the past 2 days, Zhao Yun's pigpen had been built. At first, they were laying the foundation. Because there were many people working, the work was done quickly. Within 7 or 8 days, the foundation had been laid. Laying the foundation was the most important step. Only after the foundation was laid could the house be built. A few days after the foundation was laid, Zhao Ping and Li Chuiying held a banquet to announce that they were going to spend the rest of their lives together. Because it was Li Chuiying's second marriage, unlike other newlyweds, they didn't hold a lavish wedding. Instead, they kept everything simple. Zhao Ping didn't invite other people in the village to the banquet either. He only invited his relatives and a few close friends of the Zhao family. There were only 2 tables in total. 2 women from the village who were good at cooking were invited to cook for them. Zhao Yun's family was naturally invited to the banquet. Except for the 4th branch, old Zhao's other family members didn't attend the banquet. Especially the 2nd branch, Zhao Baoshan, and Hu Chunhua. Zhao Wenshui didn't attend the banquet because Li Chuiying was his daughter-in-law. It would be very awkward if he attended the banquet. Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua didn't attend the banquet because Li Chuiying was their daughter-in-law. Originally, she was part of old Zhao's family. Li Chuiying suddenly got together with Zhao Ping. It would be a little difficult for them to accept Li Chuiying. After the villagers learned about it, many people laughed at the old Zhao's family. They said that old Zhao's daughter-in-law got together with someone else, which was embarrassing. This time, Zhao Ping and Li Chuiying held a banquet. How could they attend the banquet? In Zhao Yun's family, only Zhao Yunhua and Liang Jinxiao went to eat. After all, there were too many people in the family. If all of them went, they would be able to fill the table. Wouldn't this be taking advantage of Zhao Ping's family? Because of this, Zhao Wenshui was depressed at home for a few more days. After a few days, he finally had the mood to go to work. Even if the sad days had to go on, he couldn't interfere with Li Chuiying's decision. No matter how much he wanted to get Li Chuiying back, there was nothing he could do if Li Chuiying refused to live with him. After all, he was the one who did something wrong and made Li Chuiying sad. What he needed to do now was to change himself and not do such ridiculous things again. At least he wouldn't regret it in the future. Li Chuiying and Zhao Ping were together. Every day when they cooked, Li Chuiying would call Zhao Tianyu to eat with him. This solved a problem for Zhao Wenshui. Li Chuiying knew that Zhao Tianyu was very tired every day. Zhao Tianyu's clothes and the dirty clothes that he didn't have time to wash were all washed together. This was a great help to Zhao Tianyu. Otherwise, as a man, he wouldn't be able to do such work. After these things, Zhao Wenshui thought it through. Although Li Chuiying didn't come back to live with him, Li Chuiying really thought a lot about him when he chose Zhao Ping. In addition, Zhao Ping didn't mind Li Chuiying's help, so he was very grateful to Zhao Ping. After thinking it through, Zhao Wenshui felt a lot more at ease in his heart. He also felt an unprecedented sense of relief. He had more hope for the future. The days passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was late autumn. The pigsty was almost finished. Only the beams and a layer of tiles were left. More than 20 pigsty would be completed. Chapter 2387. As for the barren hilltop, Zhu Eru and Mulan were busy planting tea trees. They were waiting for the new tea leaves to be harvested next year. The days were progressing in a better direction. Zhao Yun saw that although the people around her were busy, their lives were very fulfilling. Especially the days in the countryside, there was an indescribable feeling of comfort. The only thing that made Zhao Yun uneasy was Mu Lianfeng's situation. Mu Lianfeng and Yili should have reached the frontier fortress. She just didn't know how they were doing there and whether they had encountered any dangerous situations. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would encounter any accidents. However, in the late autumn, old Zhao's family received a piece of good news. It was someone from the capital city who had specially sent the good news to Shui Lan village. A large group of people beating gongs and drums stopped in front of old Zhao's house. Many people in the village were attracted over, wanting to know what was going on. When old Zhao's family saw so many people, they also came out of the house. As the head of the family, Zhao Baoshan said to the leader, "Sir, may I know why so many people have come to my house?" "Congratulations, old master, your eldest grandson Zhao Tianlong got 3rd place in this year's autumn examination. In the future, he will be a high-ranking official in the capital city. We have specially come to tell you the good news. This is really a joyous matter." Hearing the words of the leader of this team, the people of the Zhao family were stunned for a moment, and then they reacted. All of them were extremely excited. Zhao Tianlong was actually so promising that he actually got 3rd place in the imperial examination. This was an incredible matter. Actually, it was already not easy to become a high scholar. After becoming a high scholar, one would be able to become an official. Who would have thought that Zhao Tianlong would get 3rd place in the imperial examination? How many people in the great Zhou dynasty had participated in the imperial examination? Someone like Zhao Tianlong was 1 in 10,000. Being 3rd place in the imperial examination was enough to show how amazing Zhao Tianlong was. Furthermore, this person had also said that Zhao Tianlong would be an official in the capital in the future. That would be even more incredible. The salary of an official in the capital city was probably higher than that of a county deputy in Sun City. After this, wouldn't the entire old Zhao family become part of the government? In old Zhao's family, it could be said that when one person attained the Tao, even his chickens and dogs would ascend to heaven. Thanks to Zhao Tianlong's good fortune, he was able to achieve meteoric success together with them. What? My Tianlong actually came in third place. Am I dreaming? Feng Zhangxia was overjoyed. She felt that it was unreal. Then, he hurriedly said to Zhao Wenshi, father of Sky Dragon, quickly pinch me and see if it hurts. Let me know if I'm dreaming. Zhao Wenshi was equally confused. He quickly said to Feng Zhangxia, come, pinch me too. Let me see if it hurts. Am I dreaming? Good, good, good. Zhao Wenshi and Feng Zhangxia pinched each other. With a bit of force, they both gasped in pain. However, it was precisely because of this pain that the two of them were even happier. Pain meant that this was real. Their son, Zhao Tianlong, had really achieved meteoric success and was third place in the imperial examination. Io, it's true, it's true. Father of Sky Dragon, our son has really made a name for himself. Feng Zhangxia was extremely excited. She was grinning from ear to ear. Chapter 2388. After all, our Sky Dragon is ambitious. Although we've spent a lot of money on his studies, he's motivated and has been working hard. He didn't let us down and got third place in the exam. The first branch was happy because Zhao Tianlong was part of the first branch. As Zhao Tianlong's biological parents, how could they not be excited? Although they had separated from the main branch, the other branches were equally happy. Zhao Tianlong getting third place was the luck of the entire old Zhao family. It gave all the members of the old Zhao family a lot of face. Who knew how many people would be envious of them if they told others about it? Especially after Zhao Tianlong became an official. Once he became a high-ranking official, wouldn't they become relatives of high-ranking officials? With a relative who was an official, their lives would be much better. Sometimes, when dealing with people, they would treat them well on account of Zhao Tianlong. As for the old Zhao family, they would definitely become a prestigious family in Shui Lan village. The other branches all had smiles on their faces. They couldn't wait to let the entire Shui Lan village know about Zhao Tianlong's third place. Not bad, not bad. Tianlong didn't embarrass me. Zhao Baoshan chuckled. Compared to Zhao Wenshi and Feng Zhangxia, he was much calmer. However, he still couldn't hide the smile on his face. Old master, third place is a dragon among men. It's not easy to get first place. The leader of the group shouted. Zhao Wentao quickly reminded Zhao Baoshan and the first branch. Father, big brother, what are you guys still standing there for? Hurry up and invite the officials to our house to have a drink and rest. They rushed such a long way to bring us this good news. We can't let them just stand there. Zhao Baoshan nodded heavily, yes, yes, yes. Old Wu is right. Look at my brain, it's not working well. Young people are a little slow-witted. After saying that, Zhao Baoshan said to the group, please come in and have a rest. We'll have lunch at my house. I'll make some good dishes to treat them. The person who brought the good news didn't delay. Instead, he entered old Zhao's house. Zhao Baoshan was overjoyed. He hurriedly called for his family to start preparing. Hu Chunhua was also grinning from ear to ear. When she thought about how Zhao Tianlong would become an official, she, as his grandmother, would definitely be able to enjoy a good life together with him. She would be able to live a good life in the future and become the old madam of the Shangguan family. That would naturally be something to be happy about and proud of. Hu Chunhua said, my eldest daughter-in-law, my fourth daughter-in-law, you have to cook more delicious dishes for lunch and treat them well. Don't let our family lose face. Feng Zhangxia giggled and replied, Mother, of course. Qian Zhozha asked, Mother, what kind of good hospitality do we have? Hu Chunhua's eyes turned as she pondered and said, I have a dozen chickens at my place. You guys go pick a few out and make some chickens to eat. Mother, just chickens seems a little shabby. What else do we have to make? Qian Zhozha felt that just eating chicken would be too monotonous. Moreover, they came from the capital, so they might not fancy such food. Chapter 2389. Yes, yes, sure. We still have to have pork. Just having chicken won't do. Qian Zhui nodded vigorously, agreeing with Hu Chunhua's words. Because they lived in the countryside, it was very inconvenient to eat meat. They could only go to Yang city or town to buy pork. Their village did not have a butcher, unlike other villages that had butchers who could buy pork directly. There were more people in the village, so there should be people who would buy some to eat. This was because there were many people in Old Zhao's courtyard who came to watch the show. When they heard Hu Chunhua and Qian Hongzhao's conversation, some people took the initiative to curry favor. A woman walked up and said to Hu Chunhua and Qian Hongzhao, "No need to ask anymore. My family has it. I just bought 2 caddies from town today. I'll go get it for you." The reason why she was trying to curry favor was because Zhao Tianlong was a high school graduate. If it were someone else, they probably would not do this. There were many benefits to having a good relationship with the Zhao family. The villagers were all smart people. Naturally, they could see the situation clearly and knew what to do. Hu Chunhua beamed and said, "Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. You're welcome. We're all from the same village, so we should help each other. Tianlong, this child, has done our Shui Lan village proud. You don't have to pay for these 2 caddies of meat. You can eat it. Take it as my congratulations to your Zhao family." 2 caddies of meat cost dozens of copper coins. Since it was free, Hu Chunhua was naturally very happy. She politely thanked them and knew what they meant. She deliberately said, "When that child, Tianlong, comes back, we must talk to him and let him remember this friendship." When the woman heard this, she immediately stopped joking and was very happy. When the other villagers heard this, they could not help it. Another came over to curry favor and said, "My relatives just sent me a few jugs of good wine. I'll go get it for your family too. You have so many officials in your family, so you must use wine to entertain them." Hu Chunhua was a greedy person. When she heard this, she quickly said, "Okay, thank you. I'll talk to my family's Tianlong later. The people in our village are so friendly. They're all good people." None of them were willing to fall behind, for fear that they would be targeted by the Zhao clan and not be able to benefit from it in the future. Basically, everyone who had something at home took out everything they had and waited for old Zhao's family to send it over. They wanted to establish a good relationship with him so that they could benefit from it in the future. Hu Chunhua enjoyed the feeling of being sought after by the entire village. This time, Zhao Tianlong had really brought honor to his family. If it was in the past, the villagers would not have fawned over them like this. There was a difference between passing the exam and not passing the exam. If you passed the exam, everyone would fear you and want to curry favor with you. Thinking that Zhao Tianlong would be able to become a high-ranking official in the future, Hu Chunhua felt an indescribable sense of pride. At this moment, in front of everyone, Hu Chunhua straightened her back even more and had a proud look on her face. Feng Zhangxia was the same as Hu Chunhua. She was also very pleased with herself. Especially when she heard the villagers praising Zhao Tianlong and envying her, how could she not be happy? In the future, when Zhao Tianlong became a high-ranking official, she would be the wife of a high-ranking official. How much face would she have if this were to spread out? Of course, face was one thing. Enjoying life in the future was another. Chapter 2390. After waiting for this year, she felt that all the hardships she had suffered in the past were worth it. This was because what parents hoped for the most was for their children to succeed. Fortunately, Zhao Tianlong did not disappoint her. Feng Zhangxia said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, our family's culinary skills are not very good. The food that we make probably won't satisfy these officials. Why don't we call Yun over? That girl's culinary skills are good and the food she makes is delicious. The officials will definitely be satisfied after eating it." Since these people were here to announce the good news, as the family members of the current third-place finisher, they naturally had to help old Zhao maintain his reputation. These people who were here to announce the good news would not feel that their old Zhao family's food was too shabby. After hearing Feng Zhangxia's words, Hu Chunhua nodded and expressed her agreement. It is indeed much better to let Yun come over to cook. If we cook, it will purely be a waste of ingredients and we won't be able to make such delicious food. It's just that Yun's personality is too stingy. She might not be willing to come over and help us cook. After all, this was not an easy task. In addition, Zhao Yun was the current heir's consort and not an ordinary country girl. Naturally, she could not be casually ordered around to do such dirty and tiring work in the kitchen. Feng Zhangxia smiled and said, "It's fine, mother. I'll go and talk to them first. If it really doesn't work, I'll call someone else over." However, this is Tianlong's joyous occasion. Yun has never been calculative about such important matters. She should agree to come over and help. Feng Zhangxia had a certain understanding of Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's stinginess was only in matters of principle. Most of the time, she was never stingy about important matters. Just like when old Zhao's family held a few joyous occasions, Zhao Yun had always come over to help. If her tone was slightly better and she begged Zhao Yun more, Zhao Yun would definitely agree. Hu Chunhua responded, "All right, then you go." Yeah. Feng Zhangxia ran towards Zhao Yun's house. Before Feng Zhangxia arrived at Zhao Yun's house, Zhao Yun's family had already found out about Zhao Tianlong's third-place ranking. When the messenger arrived, everyone in the village went over to old Zhao's house to watch the commotion. When they found out that Zhao Tianlong had passed the high scholar examination, the news spread like wildfire throughout the village. In no time, the news had spread like wildfire. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxia were very happy when they found out that Zhao Tianlong had come in third place. They laughed and said, "Tianlong has been very outstanding since he was young. After he started studying, he received a lot of praise from the teachers. Who would have thought that he would really pass the imperial examination, and even get third place? This was a rare happy occasion. I don't think there's a talent like him in every village within 10 miles. Yes. There are so many people taking part in the imperial examination in Dezhou. It wasn't easy for Tianlong to stand out among them. It's our old Zhao's fortune. Our old Zhao's family saved up a lot of money for Tianlong's studies over the years. Now that we see him succeed in his studies and stand out among his peers, it's really gratifying. Isn't that right? To be able to get third place in the imperial examination, it was worth it no matter how hard we worked. Ha! It's really a happy occasion. I reckon that Tianlong will be back soon. We have to prepare some gifts for big brother and sister-in-law. In the future, we will definitely hold a banquet to congratulate Tianlong." Chapter 2391. Okay. We should go to father and mother's place to join in the fun. Zhao Wenhua was a person who liked to join in the fun. She called out to Liang Jinxiao and couldn't wait to join in the fun. Liang Jinxiao smiled and nodded. "Okay, I'll go and get ready. Yun, do you want to go and take a look?" Liang Jinxiao even called out to Zhao Yun, as he spoke. These days, he saw that Zhao Yun was bored staying at home all day, so he wondered if there was something lively to take Zhao Yun to have a look so that he could kill some time. Zhao Yun smiled and replied, "Okay, mother, I'll join in the fun." Anyway, she was just staying at home and there wasn't anything important to do. She might as well join in the fun. Although she didn't have a good impression of her eldest cousin brother, Zhao Tianlong, it wasn't easy for Zhao Tianlong to pass the imperial examinations and even get third place in the examination. At the very least, it showed that Zhao Tianlong was a talent. Zhao Yun had some understanding of the ancient imperial examinations. The imperial examinations were the best way for people at the bottom of society to climb up. Villagers like them could only use the imperial examinations to change their social class fate. They wouldn't have to be poor farmers for the rest of their lives. Once they passed the imperial examinations, it was equivalent to a carp leaping over the dragon's gate and achieving meteoric success. However, passing the imperial examinations wasn't easy. It was much more difficult than the imperial examinations in the 21st century. It wasn't easy to become the provincial top scorer in the 21st century's imperial examinations. In ancient times, it was a national examination, so it was even more difficult. However, once one passed the imperial examinations, it meant that one could become an official and live a good life. That was why old Zhao's family and the entire Shui Lan village were so excited when Zhao Tianlong got third place in the imperial examinations. Just as the family was about to leave, they saw Feng Zhangxia walking over. Once she saw Zhao Yun, Feng Zhangxia came over with a smile. It was better to wait for Zhao Yuner to congratulate her. Feng Zhangxia had already taken the initiative to say it. Yuner girl, third brother, third sister-in-law, let me tell you a piece of good news. My family's Tianlong has passed the third place. The people in the capital have just sent the news. Seeing Feng Zhangxia beaming with joy, he knew how she felt at the moment. Zhao Yuner, Zhao Wenhua, and Liang Jinxiao all congratulated him. Feng Zhangxia smiled shyly and explained her purpose in front of Zhao Yuner with some embarrassment. Yuner, Auntie has a favor to ask of you. I don't know if you're willing to, if you have something to say, just say it. Yuner, it's like this. A group of people came to report the good news. There are about 7 or 8 of them. Your grandfather and grandmother said that we should treat them well. However, you know our culinary skills. No one can cook well. I'm afraid that these officials will dislike our food. Therefore, I came to ask Yuner if you can help cook a meal for the head chef. Just treat them this once will do. Auntie knows that I've troubled you with this matter and I'm a little embarrassed. However, there's no other way. When your eldest cousin brother comes back, I'll ask him to thank you properly. Feng Zhangxia's words made it difficult to refuse. However, to Zhao Yuner, this wasn't a big deal. Chapter 2392. Zhao Yun said, Auntie, I haven't said that I don't want to. But if I help cook, there's no one at home to cook. I'll have to bring my parents and Daodu, Tianfu, and Tianan over to eat. Otherwise, it would be more troublesome for them to cook lunch for themselves in the third branch. Liang Jinxiao was pregnant and couldn't do too much work. Mu Hin, on the other hand, had to help Mu Lan's family. Feng Zhangxia heard this and quickly nodded in agreement. Don't worry. Little girl Yun, since you're going to be the chef, your family will definitely have to follow you to eat. Even if you don't cook, they'll definitely call your third branch over for such a joyous occasion. Zhao Yun nodded, well, Auntie, that's fine. I'll go and help cook this lunch. When Feng Zhangxia heard this, she immediately smiled and said a few words to Zhao Yun, gratefully, Yun, girl, thank you so much. Only your good craftsmanship can support our old Zhao family's image. Auntie will remember your help this time. If you need any help in the future, Auntie will definitely do her best to help. In terms of eloquence, no one could beat Feng Zhangxia. Her words were very beautiful, but whether she could actually do it was another matter. At least from Zhao Yun's understanding of Feng Zhangxia was only good at talking. She didn't really help people much. Zhao Yun didn't like to be calculative in this aspect. Since she had decided to help out in the kitchen, she definitely didn't expect Feng Zhangxia to return this favor. Then let's go now. Zhao Yun called out. It was almost noon, so it was time to prepare to cook. If they cooked a few more dishes, they would have to work for a long time. It couldn't be delayed, so they had to hurry over to old Zhao's house and start working. Feng Zhangxia nodded heavily and responded, okay, let's go, let's go. Zhao Yun, Zhao Ping's voice suddenly came from behind. Zhao Yun turned around and asked plainly, what? If you leave, what will Brother Yuan and I eat for lunch? Zhao Ping's tone had some dissatisfaction. The other members of the third branch could go to old Zhao's house to eat, but he and Qin Yuan couldn't. Because of Zhao Xinhui's incident, Zhao Ping and Hu Chenhua couldn't get along and couldn't meet. If Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan also went to old Zhao's house to eat lunch, with Hu Chunhua's temper, she would definitely chase them out with a knife. Since that was the case, they naturally wouldn't go over and invite a snub. At this moment, Feng Zhangxia also turned around and looked at Zhao Ping, feeling very displeased. She had finally succeeded in persuading Zhao Yun, to help out in the kitchen. How could she let Zhao Ping, come over and mess things up? The moment she saw Zhao Ping's face, Feng Zhangxia jumped in fright as if she had seen a ghost. At this moment, Zhao Ping's face was smeared with a layer of green medicine, making her entire face look very scary. Feng Zhangxia's first reaction in her mind was that Zhao Ping was really too ugly. Her second reaction was that ugly people were always up to no good. She was so ugly, yet she actually came out for a stroll. Zhao Yun curled her lips and replied plainly, "Can't you burn your own hands and feet? Are you still counting on others?" Chapter 2393. Zhao Yun rolled her eyes. This Zhao Ping was totally finding excuses for her own laziness. Even if it was really as Zhao Ping said, then Zhao Ping was indeed too pampering Qin Yuan. Everything she did was for Qin Yuan's sake. Was she afraid that Qin Yuan would not be full for a meal or something? Big sister Ping, when I usually cook, why don't you learn by the side? Don't you know how to cook when you do other things every day? Zhao Yun replied indifferently. Zhao Ping pursed her lips. I can't learn it. Then is it because your brain is too stupid? Zhao Yun, what do you mean? Literally. Look, big sister Ping, you still can't understand human language. Zhao Ping glared at Zhao Yun angrily. You slut, you're too much. Too much. How is it too much? It's you who's too much, right? Isn't it just lunch? You didn't do it yourself, yet you're counting on others. Even if Qin Yuan isn't used to other people's cooking, it's just a meal. Can't you just make do with a meal and eat something? After being rebuked by Zhao Yun like this, Zhao Ping did not know what to say. However, she still replied unwillingly, Zhao Yun, big brother Yuan's injuries haven't healed yet. You can't treat him unfairly. Zhao Yun snorted lightly and replied sarcastically, haven't healed yet? How many days has it been, and you still say that he hasn't healed yet? Zhao Ping, are you using Qin Yuan's injuries as an excuse to stay here and not leave? I think the two of you can pack up and scram back to family Qin these few days. You, Zhao Ping, stared at Zhao Yun, not knowing what to say. In fact, Zhao Yuner had guessed one thing correctly. She and Qin Yuan did want to continue to stay in the third branch. Not to mention that the third branch lived in a much better place, the most important thing was that the food in the third branch was also very good. This was something that family Qin couldn't compare to. Qin Yuan liked to eat Zhao Yuner's cooking. He could eat every meal to his heart's content. If they returned to the family Qin, although they could buy good food with money, Zhao Ping, and Qin Yuan's mother were not good at cooking. Even if they bought good ingredients, it would be a waste if they did not cook well. She might as well stay at Zhao Yuner's place. At least she could eat and drink well every day. She wanted to live comfortably. How could she be willing to return to the family Qin? Big sister Ping, I didn't want to scold you at first, but you were so picky when you stayed in my house. You didn't know your place. Don't blame me for leaving quickly. Zhao Ping, pursed her lips and said, I left a long time ago. I'll move out in a few days. I'm already looking for a house in Yang City. Once I buy it, I'll move to Yang City. Who wants to live in this lousy countryside? It's best if you don't want to. Zhao Yun curled her lips and said. Humph. Zhao Ping, angrily turned around and went inside the house. Zhao Yuner was too lazy to talk to Zhao Ping, She walked with Feng Zhangxia towards old Zhao's house. Feng Zhangxia sighed in relief. Fortunately, Zhao Yuner didn't go back on her words. Otherwise, she would hate Zhao Ping, to death. Feng Zhangxia felt uncomfortable whenever she thought of Zhao Ping, She said to Zhao Yuner, you're too nice. You let Ping, and her husband stay in your house for so long. Don't you think it's troublesome? If it were me, I would have chased them away long ago if you were so picky and ordered me to do this and that. Chapter 2394. Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly. That's right. It's a good thing that they're leaving. Seeing that Zhao Yun, was no longer interested in the topic, Feng Zhangxia did not continue. She was not worried about other people's matters. If it was any other time, she would definitely nag about it. Now, Feng Zhangxia's heart was only filled with Zhao Tianlong. Zhao Tianlong was the third-place finalist in the high school and had made her proud. He could not wait for Zhao Tianlong to return and see for himself what his promising son looked like. The few of them quickened their pace and arrived at old Zhao's house in a short while. As the news of Zhao Tianlong being the third-place finalist had spread throughout the village, old Zhao's house had more people coming to join in the fun. Basically, more than half of the people in the village came over and surrounded old Zhao's courtyard in layers of people. Zhao Tianlong had not returned yet. If he did, the scene would probably be even grander. At this moment, Lord Li Zheng knew that Zhao Tianlong was the third-place finalist and hurried over to old Zhao's house to congratulate old Zhao. Zhao Baoshan was in charge of entertaining the guests. Lord Li Zheng chuckled and said, Old Master Zhao, congratulations. Your family's Tianlong is really capable to be the third-place finalist. He's really amazing. Not only is Tianlong the pride of old Zhao's house, he's also the pride of our entire Shui Lan village. Not to mention the third-place finalist, even an ordinary high scholar passing the examination was not easy. There might not even be a few people in one course of treatment, not to mention a third-place finalist in Shui Lan village. This was the first time this had happened. As the head of Shui Lan village, how could Lord Li Zheng not be happy? Thank you Lord Li Zheng. For you to specially come over to congratulate us is our family's Tianlong and the entire old Zhao's blessing. Zhao Baoshan was grinning from ear to ear, his face filled with pride. Lord Li Zheng chuckled, it's my duty to come over for such an important matter. Zhao Baoshan pulled Li Zheng's sleeves and said, Li Zheng, let's have lunch together today. Our old Zhao family has specially prepared some dishes to entertain you. Please don't refuse. Li Zheng chuckled and replied, this is my honor, how can I refuse? That's good. Lord Li Zheng, please come in. All right. Lord Li Zheng walked into old Zhao's house, while Zhao Baoshan was beaming with joy, with an indescribable sense of pride. More and more people came to old Zhao's courtyard to congratulate him. However, Zhao Baoshan only invited some of the more prestigious people in the village to stay for a meal. After all, there were too many people in the village. If they invited everyone, their family wouldn't be able to sit down and there wouldn't be enough food for them. The others could only stand in front of old Zhao's yard and join in the fun. Many people were envious of old Zhao's family for having such a talent, while others were jealous of old Zhao's family. However, no matter what, no one could change the fact that Zhao Tianlong was the third-place finalist. No matter how glorious old Zhao's family was, they could only be envious. Zhao Yun went to the kitchen with Feng Zhangxia and the rest to start preparing the dishes. As there were quite a lot of ingredients, there were fish, meat, chicken and duck. Zhao Yun could cook these dishes in a variety of ways. Chapter 2395. If they could combine some home-cooked dishes with these meat dishes, they would be able to make a sumptuous meal. Not long after, the fragrant smell of food wafted out from old Zhao's kitchen. Even those officials who were used to delivering messages to old Zhao's family couldn't help but take a deep breath when they smelled the aroma of the dishes in old Zhao's courtyard. They couldn't wait for the meal to start. On the other hand, Zhao Ping returned to the house in a huff. When he saw Zhao Ping's unhappy face, Qin Yuan asked gently, Ping, what's wrong? You don't look happy. Did something happen? Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said honestly to Qin Yuan, Zhao Yun is really something. She ran over to old Zhao's house to cook for him. She left the two of us hanging out in the middle of the afternoon. Big brother Yuan, what are we eating later? Qin Yuan was stunned. Then, he said gently, it's fine. Just make do with something. Ping, I'll eat whatever you cook for me. I'm not picky. After hearing Qin Yuan's words, Zhao Ping, felt much better. If Qin Yuan insisted that he only wanted to eat Zhao Yun's food, then she really couldn't do anything about it. However, when she thought about what Zhao Yun said just now, Zhao Ping said to Qin Yuan, Big brother Yuan, we might have to move out in a few days. Zhao Yun, that be *tch, is chasing us away now. Qin Yuan comforted her. It's fine. Ping, once we buy a house in Yang City, we can move over. Anyway, my injuries are more or less healed. I don't have to stay here to recuperate anymore. Big brother Yuan, are your injuries really more or less healed? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Zhao Ping, asked with concern. I'm fine. I'm really more or less healed. I can even get out of bed and walk around. Ping, you've been by my side for such a long time. You've seen me slowly get better. Zhao Ping nodded heavily. Actually, Qin Yuan could get out of bed and walk around some time ago. However, Zhao Ping was worried about Qin Yuan's condition, so she told Qin Yuan to lie down more often and not move around casually. This way, Qin Yuan's injuries would heal more completely. Otherwise, if he just came down and moved, who knew if the bumps would worsen the injury. Ping, thank you for taking care of me all this time. I've seen everything you've done for me. I'll treat you well in the future. I'll never let you down. Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Ping, affectionately. However, his attitude towards Zhao Ping, a few months ago was completely different. Zhao Ping, smiled shyly. It's fine, big brother Yuan. I'm willing to do anything for you. You don't have to thank me because I'm willing to do it. Actually, it's good to leave this place. We can move to Yang City earlier and live a better life there. Yes, we'll live in Yang City in the future. It's much more convenient than living in this poor village. Yeah, the village isn't as prosperous as Yang City. It'll be more convenient for us to buy and eat whatever we want in Yang City. Big brother Yuan. My face is a little itchy. The doctor said it's fine if my face is itchy. I'll go and wash my face now. Zhao Ping, suddenly felt itchy on her face and told Qin Yuan. The stuff that she applied on her face was the last medicine prescribed by the doctor. Chapter 2396. Zhao Ping, couldn't wait to see how beautiful she looked. Once the birthmark and spots on her face were removed, she should look much better and wouldn't be as ugly as before. Qin Yuan smiled and nodded. There was a hint of doting in his eyes. Quickly go. Actually, he was also looking forward to Zhao Ping's appearance after she became beautiful. Although he felt that the soul was more important than beauty, it would naturally be better if Zhao Ping could become more beautiful. No one would despise themselves for being good-looking or handsome. Zhao Ping ran out of the house eagerly. She fetched a basin of water and carefully washed her face. After a long while, she finally washed the ointment off her face. After washing up, Zhao Ping suppressed her excitement and ran into the house because the mirror was placed inside. Big brother Yuan, what does my face look like now? Zhao Ping asked nervously. Qin Yuan raised his head and took a look at Zhao Ping's face. He was instantly stunned. He actually didn't know that Zhao Ping could become so beautiful. After removing the birthmark and the spots on her face, Zhao Ping's skin had also become very fair after taking care of herself. She stood in front of him, slender and elegant. Her appearance was very delicate. Her appearance didn't pale in comparison to Zhao Xinhui's at all. Most importantly, Zhao Ping's skin was very fair, which made her even more beautiful. Qin Yuan looked at her a few more times in disbelief. His eyeballs spun, and he was a little dazed. Zhao Ping couldn't wait any longer. She said to Qin Yuan, "Big brother Yuan. What happened to my face? Why aren't you saying anything?" Sigh. "I'll just look at it myself." As Zhao Ping said that, she picked up the bronze mirror and looked at her face. After looking at her face, she had the same reaction as Qin Yuan. She couldn't believe that the person in the mirror was her. She was even more beautiful than she had expected. Zhao Ping pinched her own face and muttered, Is this really me? I'm not dreaming, am I? Heavens! She's too beautiful. How can I be so good-looking? Qin Yuan finally reacted. His face was full of smiles as he smiled at Zhao Ping and said, "Ping, you're so beautiful." This face was completely different from before. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Zhao Ping was very excited. Yes, let alone others, even I can't believe it. Big brother Yuan, am I really not dreaming right now? Qin Yuan shook his head affectionately. No, Pinger, you're not dreaming. This is you. If you didn't have the birthmark and freckles, you would be so beautiful. Zhao Ping admired her own face as if she was admiring a treasure. She even said, "No. I'm really too beautiful. I'm about to cry for my own beauty. Big brother Yuan. No one will call me an ugly girl in the future." Yes. Qin Yuan nodded in agreement. He knew that Zhao Ping's ugly appearance had always troubled her. Now that Zhao Ping's face could be cured, it wasn't an easy task. As long as no one called Zhao Ping an ugly girl, Zhao Ping's mood would definitely be much better. As long as Zhao Ping was happy, he would be gratified. Chapter 2397. Qin Yuan nodded in agreement. To Zhao Ping her face was very important. Since it was Ma Xiaofeng's suggestion that allowed Zhao Ping's face to be cured, then Ma Xiaofeng's kindness was naturally part of it. Let's buy some gifts for Ma Xiaofeng later and repay her properly, Qin Yuan suggested. Zhao Ping nodded heavily. Sure. Big brother Yuan, we have to buy more things for little Feng. I'm so happy, after living for more than 20 years, I actually didn't know that my face could be cured. If I had known earlier, I would have cured it earlier, and I wouldn't have been called an ugly woman for more than 20 years. Zhao Ping was very emotional. She had thought that she could only be like this for the rest of her life, unable to get rid of this ugly face. Now, a miracle had happened. Qin Yuan smiled dotingly. Ping, you can't say that. Even if we knew that it could be cured, we didn't have so much money. Furthermore, if you were born beautiful from the start, we might not have been together. Since God arranged it this way, she must have her reasons. Perhaps she wanted you to wait for me and marry me. After listening to Qin Yuan's analysis, Zhao Ping felt that it made sense. She smiled at Qin Yuan blissfully. Big brother Yuan, you're right. God must have arranged it this way on purpose. It's great now, I'm not ugly anymore. In the future, when I'm with Big brother Yuan, no one will make fun of you for marrying an ugly woman. Of course, the most important thing was that Zhao Ping felt that she had become beautiful, and she was so delicate and pretty. Qin Yuan would definitely not look for other women. In the future, she and Qin Yuan could live happily together for the rest of their lives. Ping, you're so silly. No matter if you've become beautiful or if you're still the same as before, you're still the best in my heart. I don't care what others say, I just want to be with you. Qin Yuan said very affectionately. Zhao Ping's heart was filled with warmth. Looking at the handsome man in front of her, Zhao Ping leaned forward and kissed Qin Yuan on the cheek. She then smiled sweetly and said, Big brother Yuan, you're so nice. Nice to meet you. Hee, Big brother Yuan, I want to go and tell little Feng about such good news right now, Zhao Ping said with an excited look. She didn't know what Ma Xiaofeng's reaction would be when she saw her changed face. How would the other villagers react when they saw her? Many people probably couldn't believe that she had suddenly turned into a beauty. Go ahead. Qin Yuan said with a smile. Yeah. Zhao Ping rushed out of the house and ran towards Ma Xiaofeng's courtyard. At this time, Ma Xiaofeng was also preparing lunch in the courtyard. There was no need to prepare the food. They were all brought back from the restaurant, and they were all meat dishes. It was just that they were a little cold when they were brought back. She was preparing to heat them up now so that she could call her mother and younger brother to eat later. Zhao Ping saw Ma Xiaofeng's figure from afar and suddenly shouted at Ma Xiaofeng, "Little Feng, little Feng." Ma Xiaofeng heard Zhao Ping's familiar voice. She raised her head and saw a woman rushing into her courtyard. Although her voice and figure were exactly the same as Zhao Ping's, that face couldn't help but appear. Zhao Ping came in front of Ma Xiaofeng and shouted with a smile, "Little Feng, why are you in a daze? Why are you ignoring me?" Chapter 2398. Ping. Ping, Jia, is that you? Ma Xiaofeng asked in surprise. Yes, Xiao Feng, it's me. Zhao Ping replied with a smile. Ma Xiaofeng's eyes widened. Although she knew that Zhao Ping had gone to get her face treated, she didn't expect that Zhao Ping would look so beautiful after removing the things on her face. Zhao Ping's current face was even more delicate than hers. Ping, Jia. You've become so beautiful that I almost couldn't recognize you. Ma Xiaofeng said. Is that so? In fact, when I first saw it, I also felt that it was too unbelievable. I can still look so beautiful without the birthmark and spots. Ping, Jia, your luck is really good now. You've opened a restaurant and become rich. The Qin Yuan has also cut off all ties with your aunt and only treats you wholeheartedly. Now, you've become so beautiful. Ma Xiaofeng was a little envious of Zhao Ping. If Ma Xiaofeng hadn't mentioned it, Zhao Ping wouldn't have felt it. After Zhao Ping said it, she thought that it was indeed so. She was really lucky. She had obtained everything that she didn't get before. Moreover, it had only been a few months. It seemed that the heavens were looking after her. They felt that she had suffered too much before, and now they were doing this to compensate her. Zhao Ping held Ma Xiaofeng's hand and said gratefully, "Xiao Feng, I obtained all of this with your help. Thank you so much." If Ma Xiaofeng hadn't talked about doing business, she probably wouldn't have been able to open a restaurant now. Naturally, she wouldn't have had so much money. At that time, Qin Yuan and Zhao Xinhui were having sex in the bushes. If it hadn't been for Ma Xiaofeng's idea, Qin Yuan and Zhao Xinhui wouldn't have had any enmity. She also wouldn't have had a chance to show off. Qin Yuan wouldn't have treated her so sincerely now. As for her face, needless to say, it was Ma Xiaofeng's idea to suggest that she go see a doctor. Otherwise, with her brain, she definitely wouldn't have thought of it. Ma Xiaofeng played a big part in her success today. Ma Xiaofeng smiled. It's okay, Ping, Jia, you don't have to thank me. You're my good friend. I'm also happy for you to see that you've become better and better. Of course, Ma Xiaofeng only said it on the surface, but she was a little jealous in her heart. Why was it that the lives of the people around her were getting better and better? What about her, other than having some money so that she wouldn't go hungry and could take care of her mother and younger brother well, she didn't have anything else. With these material conditions, Ma Xiaofeng realized that what she wanted the most was the care and concern of the person she loved. She was just a girl, supporting a family by herself. Mentally, she was more or less tired. Therefore, she wanted to find a shoulder to lean on. At least, she could lean on it when she was tired. Then, she realized that she had lost the shoulder that she could have leaned on. She wanted to look for it, but unfortunately, she couldn't find it. Ma Xiaofeng took a deep breath and tried hard to suppress her emotions. Zhao Ping was too excited and didn't notice Ma Xiaofeng's strange behavior. Zhao Ping looked at Ma Xiaofeng, touched. Xiao Feng, you're really the best girl I've ever met. Ping, Jia, you're being polite with me again. No. Xiao Feng, I'm just telling the truth. Fortunately, you're here. Everything I have is given to me by you. I'll always remember your kindness. Chapter 2399. Yes, yes. Zhao Ping replied excitedly. Such a good thing should be publicized in the village. In the past, her ugly appearance had been laughed at by the girls in the village. Now that she was out with this face, it was a slap to the faces of those who had laughed at her. With her current appearance, she could definitely crush a large number of girls in the village. At old Zhao's house, the commotion was still ongoing. It was no wonder that the villagers were so concerned about Zhao Tianlong. It was simply too rare for Zhao Tianlong to come in third place in the imperial examinations. Since Shuilan village had produced such a talent, the villagers naturally wanted to join in the fun and understand the situation. At the same time, they wanted to build a good relationship with old Zhao's family. When they went out later, they could even brag about it and gain some face. After Zhao Yun finished preparing the dishes, she began to entertain the officials who had delivered the news. There was no doubt about her culinary skills. This meal was very sumptuous, and everyone was very satisfied. When the officials were about to leave, Zhao Wentao reminded Zhao Baoshan and Zhao Wenshi. Father, second brother, they came all the way to our house to deliver the news. We can't just entertain them with a meal. We have to give them some red packets. Previously, when people from other villages passed the imperial examinations, the officials who delivered the news had to give them 5 taels of silver. This time, Zhao Tianlong came in third place. Old Zhao's family couldn't be too shabby. Not only would it embarrass old Zhao's family, it would also embarrass Zhao Tianlong. Zhao Baoshan nodded, yes, fourth brother is right. We should give them some red packets. Eldest brother, take out whatever money you have. Zhao Wenshi couldn't bear to part with his money, so he said with a bitter face, Father, where do I have any money? Tianhu basically spent all his money when he got married. Also, he split up, so he doesn't have much left. Zhao Wenshi didn't really have any money. He just didn't want to take it out. He knew that even if he didn't pay, it would be the entire old Zhao family's honor for Zhao Tianlong to come in third place. Zhao Baoshan would find a way to raise the money. At that time, how much money did his little sister bring from young Master Meng? She could casually take out more money than he could. Why would she touch his little treasury? After Zhao Baoshan heard this, he frowned and thought for a moment. Just as he was about to ask Hu Chunhua to take out some money, Shin Pan walked over and said to Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Baoshan, Dad, Grandpa, let me take the money. You don't have to make things difficult for me. I don't have any dowry from my maiden family. When Zhao Wenshi heard this, he immediately gave Shin Pan a look, telling her not to take it. Shin Pan was a member of the main branch, so Zhao Wenshi's heart ached when she took out the money. Shin Pan ignored the look in Zhao Wenshi's eyes. She was a little annoyed by the pettiness of the country people. Wasn't it just some money? What was the big deal? Now that Zhao Tianlong came in third place, he was going to be a high-ranking official in the future. How could he worry about not having enough money to spend? Giving more money to the officials who delivered the news was to give Zhao Tianlong some face. She couldn't let others think that Zhao Tianlong's family was too shabby and make a joke out of it. As Zhao Tianlong's wife, Shin Pan took this into consideration and took out the money. Chapter 2400. When Shin Pan reached her room, she took out 10 taels of silver and gave it to the official who delivered the news. 10 taels of silver was quite a lot. After receiving the money, the official who delivered the news happily left. The villagers who came to join in the fun were even more moved by old Zhao's generosity. Pan, when Tianlong comes back, I'll make up for it. Zhao Baoshan said. Shin Pan pulled the corners of her mouth and smiled, it's fine. Tianlong and I are husband and wife. Why would we care so much? When Tianlong becomes an official, what's 10 taels of silver? Shen Pan felt that she wouldn't be like old Zhao and the villagers, who only stared at the little benefits in front of them. Once Tianlong became an official, things would be different with He Qian around. When the time came, he would be above everyone else. What couldn't he want? And when she became the wife of an official, not only would she be rich, she would also have an enviable status. Zhao Baoshan chuckled and nodded in agreement. That's right. Pan is right. Once Tianlong becomes an official, our entire old Zhao family will follow suit. What's 10 taels of silver? Father, Tianlong is ambitious. He's made us proud. Ha, that's right. Those officials just now said that Tianlong will be back in 3 or 4 days. Aya, talking about it makes this old man somewhat impatient, wanting to see him earlier. Zhao Baoshan said somewhat impatiently. When Shen Pan heard this, she also couldn't wait. She had been waiting for these past few months. Every day, she missed Tianlong. However, she knew that it was useless even if she missed him. Tianlong prioritized his studies and wanted to pass the imperial examinations. As his wife, she couldn't hold him back. She could only silently wait for him and support him from behind. Waiting for the day when he passed the imperial examinations. Tianlong didn't disappoint her. Not only did he pass the imperial examinations, he even came in 3rd place. This made Shen Pan feel that all her previous efforts were worth it. After enduring for a few months, the remaining 3 or 4 days felt unusually long to Shen Pan. She couldn't wait to see Tianlong return. She had to go to the town to tell her parents about such good news so that they could be happy too. After all, when she had chosen to be with Zhao Tianlong, her parents had been worried. They felt that old Zhao's family was too poor and were afraid that she would suffer after marrying him. As for whether or not Zhao Tianlong would be able to pass, everything was still unknown. If she didn't pass the exam, she could only stay in Shui Lan village for the rest of her life and live a poor life. Now that Zhao Tianlong had come in 3rd place, it meant that her decision back then was not wrong. Her parents had made the right bet. Although the Shen family's conditions were indeed quite good, it was somewhat difficult to become the wife of an official. She could only marry Zhao Tianlong early and wait for Zhao Tianlong to pass the exam. Then, she would naturally become the wife of the top scholar. Father, grandfather, I want to go back to my parents' home this afternoon to tell them the good news. Shen Pan said. Zhao Baoshan smiled and said, Pan, go ahead. We should inform our in-laws about this joyous occasion and let them be happy too. Yeah. Shen Pan nodded heavily. Her face was full of joy. Then, she turned around and went into the house to prepare the things she needed to prepare. After everything was done, Zhao Yun and her family prepared to go back to rest. From afar, they could see many girls in their teens and 20s in the courtyard of the 3rd branch. Some of them were young married women. Chapter 2401. Zhao Yun was a little confused. Usually, there wouldn't be so many girls gathered in front of their house. Could it be that something happened at home? But she wasn't at home. Could it be that these girls were called over by Zhao Ping? With this doubt, Zhao Yun continued to walk forward. When she reached the courtyard, she finally understood what was going on. It turned out that these people were really called over by Zhao Ping. The reason why they were called over was because of her face. After washing the things on her face, Zhao Ping's face had completely changed. At this time, in the eyes of others, Zhao Ping's appearance was not only not ugly, but also delicate and pretty. Therefore, the girls in the village felt that it was strange, so they gathered at her house and asked her non-stop. They were curious about how Zhao Ping became beautiful. Women were more fond of it, and they all hoped to find Zhao Ping's secret method to see if they could become beautiful like Zhao Ping. Seeing Zhao Ping's changed appearance, Zhao Yun also felt strange. She thought that this woman would only be like this for the rest of her life. She didn't expect that her luck was so good that she could become beautiful under such circumstances. Zhao Ping stood among these women, feeling a little proud. In the past, she felt a little inferior because of her face. Now, Zhao Ping's face was full of confidence. She raised her head and wished that everyone could see her face clearly. Zhao Yun understood Zhao Ping's heart. After being ugly for so long, she suddenly became beautiful. Naturally, she wanted to announce it to the world. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were a little relieved. No matter what, Zhao Ping was their biological daughter. As parents, they also had a big responsibility to give birth to Zhao Ping, so ugly. Before this, Zhao Ping had complained a lot about them giving birth to her ugly appearance. Now that Zhao Ping could become beautiful, at least she wouldn't blame them in the future. Over the next few days, Zhao Ping went out to show off her beautiful face. Zhao Yun didn't really care about this kind of behavior that didn't affect her. The days passed quickly. Zhao Ping found a suitable house in Yang City and moved in with the people of Qinyuan. Many people envied Zhao Ping for becoming a city dweller in the future and not having to stay in the countryside like other people. As for old Zhao's family, Zhao Tianlong came in third place and returned to old Zhao's house a few days later. Because they were the third in the exam, the top three were all valued by the emperor. When Zhao Tianlong returned to his hometown, he even sent a group of people to escort it back. Zhao Yun was dressed in a red wedding attire with a hat on his head. His attire was similar to that of the top scholar that Zhao Yun had seen on television. He was riding on horseback, and behind him were many people playing gongs and drums. Along the way, he was very eye-catching. As soon as he entered the village, the entire Shui Lan village came out to join in the fun. They wanted to see how the top scholar looked after coming back from the capital. After seeing him, everyone was envious. Sure enough, clothes made the man, and gold made the Buddha. Zhao Tianlong, who was dressed in a red wedding attire, was a little different. Because he came in third place, his face was full of joy and he was in high spirits. Everyone, come and take a look. The top scholar is back. Yes. Everyone, come and take a look. How impressive. So many people were sent back to the village. The top scholar is indeed different. Isn't that obvious? The top three scholars are all valued by the imperial court. They will be high-ranking officials in the future. Fenlai is naturally different from the other top scholars. He is very impressive. Chapter 2402. Aya, this kind of fortune isn't something that just anyone can have. Old Zhao's family had the blessing of the ancestors, allowing Zhao Tianlong to get third place this year. If he didn't have the blessing of the ancestors, it would be difficult for him to get such a good result. You're right. How many good things have happened to old Zhao's family this year? Normal people wouldn't be able to get it. Not to mention anything else, just the third branch's second daughter, directly marrying the heir and becoming our great Zhou's heir's wife. This is an honor that normal people wouldn't be able to get. AI, there's no point in being envious. We don't have the blessing of the ancestors, so this kind of good thing naturally wouldn't fall on our heads. So, let's not think about it. Right, let's not think about it. When the villagers saw Zhao Tianlong, they all gathered together and began discussing. They were all filled with envy towards old Zhao's family. When old Zhao's family heard that Zhao Tianlong had returned, they all rushed out of their houses and waited in the yard, waiting for Zhao Tianlong. Shen Pan had carefully dressed herself these past few days, just in case Zhao Wenlong suddenly came back. She wanted Zhao Tianlong to see her beautiful appearance, not like the other village women who were sloppy and didn't dress up. It was fine before, but now that Zhao Tianlong had gotten third place, it was different. In the future, he would become a high-ranking official, so she had to maintain her beautiful appearance in order to capture Zhao Tianlong's heart. Otherwise, once a man became rich, who knew if he would be unfaithful and look for younger and more beautiful women? She only wanted Zhao Tianlong to have her and not Zhao Tianlong to have concubines in the future. Shen Pan had a new set of clothes made. It was peach pink, making her skin look white. Adding in some light makeup, she looked even more charming. Shen Pan was quite satisfied with her appearance. After waiting for around a few minutes, Zhao Tianlong's group arrived in front of old Zhao's house. Seeing Zhao Tianlong on the horse, that handsome appearance made Shen Pan's heart beat faster. Although this person was her husband, Shen Pan still revealed a trace of shyness and her face turned red. However, her eyes looking at Zhao Tianlong were still filled with hope. She had waited for so long, and finally, this man had returned. He was in high spirits, which added to his handsomeness. The members of old Zhao's family were similarly overjoyed. Feng Zhangxia could no longer contain her excitement and rushed towards Zhao Tianlong, shouting, "Tianlong, you're finally back. Sky Dragon is back." Zhao Wenshi happily stepped forward and said with a smile, "I've been waiting for the heavens and the earth, but I've finally brought Sky Dragon back. My eldest grandson's aura is indeed extraordinary. One look and I can tell that he's not an ordinary person." Hu Chunhua was grinning from ear to ear, unconsciously praising Zhao Tianlong. When Zhao Tianlong saw his family and heard the envious and praises of the people around him, he felt that he had finally made a name for himself. He raised his chin. This was the first time he had raised his head like this, and it felt great to be a human. Previously, because he was from the countryside and his family wasn't very well off, it was inevitable that he would be teased by his classmates. Most of his classmates were young masters from wealthy families. Only a small number of poor families would send their children to school. Ever since he came in third place in high school, he no longer had to worry about others gossiping about him. He could hold his head high and live an extraordinary life. Zhao Tianlong got off the horse and walked towards old Zhao's family. Chapter 2403. Zhao Tianlong greeted them politely and greeted old Zhao's family members. Zhao Baoshan greeted Zhao Tianlong with a smile, "You must be tired after such a long journey. Come in and have a rest." "Okay." Zhao Tianlong nodded. He was indeed tired after such a long journey. Since returning from the capital, he wanted to report the good news to my family without stopping. Although he knew that old Zhao's family had already received the news, he still wanted to tell them personally. Seeing old Zhao's family members looking at him with pride, Zhao Tianlong was very happy. As a member of old Zhao's family, what he wanted the most was to stand out and make his parents proud of him. For so many years, old Zhao's family had spent a lot of effort on him in order to support his studies. Fortunately, he was third in the examination. As a reward, he did not disappoint old Zhao's family. Because of Zhao Tianlong's return, Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua asked their family members to prepare lunch to treat Zhao Tianlong. Feng Zhangxia looked at her precious son and said with a distressed expression, "Alas, Tianlong is already thin enough. I guess he's been concentrating on studying and not eating these days. It looks like he's lost a lot of weight." As his mother, she felt a little heartache. Hu Chunhua chuckled, "That means that our Tianlong is really focused on his studies. How can he not lose weight when he is so focused on his studies? However, being third in the examination shows that it is worth it to lose weight. Since he is back home, he will be fine once his body is nourished." Feng Zhangxia nodded, "That's true. We can prepare more delicious food for Tianlong to nourish himself. I estimate that he will be able to recover after half a month or a month." Hu Chunhua said generously, "Eldest daughter-in-law, I still have more than 10 chickens. Go back and catch a few old hens to make chicken soup for Tianlong's child." Feng Zhangxia answered happily, "Okay, I'll go and stew it tomorrow." "Mother, you are really good to Tianlong. He is my precious eldest grandson. If I don't treat him well, who else can I treat well?" "Ha, mother, I'll talk to Sky Dragon later. I have to let him remember your kindness and be filial to you in the future." Feng Zhangxia just said a few flattering words, but Hu Chunhua was very happy to hear it. Once Xiao Tianlong became a high-ranking official, he would probably be able to send her a lot of good things if he showed a little filial piety. It seemed like she wouldn't have to worry about the rest of her life. Old Xiao's family was quite lucky this year, which was why they had so many happy events. In the afternoon, the whole family gathered together for a lively meal. The third branch was also invited to join them. They gathered together to eat and celebrate Xiao Tianlong's third place in the high school examination. Xiao Tianlong's words were somewhat smug, which made Xiao Yun a little displeased. However, being able to come in third place was indeed something to be happy about and proud of. It was normal for people to be a little arrogant. After all, they were indeed capable. In the afternoon, the few branches of old Xiao's family gathered together to chat. They only dispersed after dinner. Shen Pan looked forward to it for a long time until nighttime. This was because Xiao Tianlong could only say a few intimate words to her after they returned to their room. During the day, there were so many people in old Xiao's house. Moreover, they were all talking to Xiao Tianlong non-stop. It was difficult for her to even say a few words to Xiao Tianlong. Chapter 2404. As she had not seen Xiao Tianlong for a long time, Shen Pan still had a shy look on her face when they were alone. She softly called out to Xiao Tianlong. "Husband." Xiao Tianlong looked at the delicate woman in front of him with a doting smile on his face. He held Shen Pan's hand and asked with a smile, "Husband has been gone for so long. Did you miss me?" Shen Pan shyly lowered her head and her voice was as soft as a mosquito's. "Of course I missed you, was there a need to ask?" She missed him every day and wished she could see him every day. However, knowing that Xiao Tianlong prioritized his studies, Shen Pan was willing to let Xiao Tianlong make a name for himself in the future even if she missed him more. "I missed you too." Xiao Tianlong smiled and asked about Shen Pan's recent situation. "Pan, did you suffer at home these days?" Shen Pan shook her head. "No, I'm fine." Xiao Tianlong nodded his head in relief. "That's good. I was worried about you and Yang Yang every day in the capital. I don't know how you two are doing in the village. It's a good thing that you're finally back." "Yes." Shen Pan replied, "We don't have to be separated anymore, We won't be separated anymore." Xiao Tianlong walked closer to Shen Pan and wrapped his arms around her waist. Shen Pan let out a low cry and fell into Xiao Tianlong's embrace. Her cheeks blushed for a moment, but she could not wait for Xiao Tianlong's next move. Only the heavens knew how thirsty she was after staying at home for a few months without Xiao Tianlong by her side. Sometimes, she could only solve it herself. However, doing it herself was not as satisfying as doing it with a man. Now that Xiao Tianlong was finally back, he could help her solve her physiological needs. Xiao Tianlong hugged Shen Pan's waist and held the back of her head. He then kissed her deeply on the lips. He was about to suffocate to death. Even though he had been studying for the past few days, sometimes he could use books to divert his attention. However, as a man, his needs in this area were still very important. It was fine if he had never tasted a woman before. After tasting one, his heart would itch whenever he thought about it. After kissing for a few minutes, Xiao Tianlong picked Shen Pan'er up and threw her onto the bed. Then, he hurriedly took off his and Shen Pan'er's clothes. He couldn't wait to enter Shen Pan'er's body and have sex with her. The two of them tossed and turned on the bed for a while, venting all the things that they wanted to vent during this period of time. In the end, both of them lay on the ground, exhausted. Shen Pan leaned into Xiao Tianlong's embrace as her cheeks flushed red. On the other hand, Xiao Tianlong's face was filled with satisfaction. This feeling of release was refreshing. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Tianlong said to Shen Pan'er, "I actually have something to discuss with you, husband. If you have something to say, just say it. You're a man and my backbone. There are some things that you don't need to discuss with me. You can make your own decisions." Shen Pan said gently. Xiao Tianlong hugged Shen Pan'er tightly. I know that you've done a lot for me over the years and suffered a lot. With your qualifications, you could have found a better family to marry. However, you were determined to be with me back then. Shen Pan, smiled, husband, it's because I like you. As long as I'm with you, it's fine. There's no need for all this. Chapter 2405. Zhao Tianlong gently smiled, Pan, I've seen everything you've done for me. Now that I'm third place in high school, I'll bring you and Yang Yang to live a good life. Yes, yes. Shen Pan nodded her head with a face full of happiness. After enduring for so many years, she had finally made it. From the moment Zhao Tianlong entered high school, it was clear that she was going to live a good life. Fortunately, all the waiting and suffering was worth it. Pan, Now that I'm third place in high school, I didn't rely on my own abilities. Zhao Tianlong hesitated for a moment before speaking in a deep voice. Shen Pan, was stunned as she didn't understand the meaning behind Zhao Tianlong's words. Husband. How can you say that? You're already brimming with talent, how could you not rely on yourself to be third place? Could it be that the examiners randomly gave you the results? Zhao Tianlong sighed and slowly opened his mouth. Pan, many things aren't as simple as we think. There are still a lot of dark secrets. Even if it's a science exam, it's still something that can be manipulated by the nobles in the capital. For students from poor families like us, it's not easy to even become a high scholar, let alone the top 3. Shen Pan, frowned as she didn't know about this. However, since Zhao Tianlong said this, how did he get into the top 3? This time, I was able to get third place in high school because of Prince Jin's help. Shen Pan was even more confused as she didn't know that Zhao Tianlong was hiding so many secrets behind his high school results. But husband, how did you get to know Prince Jin? He wouldn't help you for no reason, right? What's going on here? Pan, This is also the reason why I wanted to discuss something with you today. Zhao Tianlong was at a loss as he spoke. Shen Pan hurriedly urged, husband, hurry up and say it, don't stutter. Pan, Zhao Tianlong held Shen Pan's hand, if I say it, I might be a little sorry, but for our future, I hope you can understand me. Shen Pan was a little nervous as Zhao Tianlong's tone didn't sound like it was anything good. Husband, tell me, Pan, Prince Jin really wouldn't help you for no reason. It's because Prince Jin's daughter, Princess Miao Yin, has fallen in love with me. That's why Prince Jin helped me get into the top 3 during the imperial exam. Otherwise, it might have been difficult for me to pass the exam. After getting into the top 3 this time, although he could become an official in the future, the waters in the officialdom were very deep. Without power and background, it was impossible to go up there. With my family background, I can only be a deputy county magistrate at most. It's not easy to become a high-ranking official. But with the help of Prince Jin, in the future, I will be like a fish in water in the officialdom, and be able to become a big official in the capital. After listening for a while, Shen Pan finally understood what was going on. She had initially thought that Zhao Tianlong had relied on his own abilities to become the third in the examination. She had never expected that it was with the help of others. From Zhao Tianlong's words, the reason why Prince Jin appreciated him so much was because of that Princess Miao Yin. Husband, what do you plan to do? Although she knew what Zhao Tianlong was planning to do, Shen Pan still asked unwillingly. Chapter 2406. Pan, because Princess Miao Yin is in love with me, as long as I marry Princess Miao Yin, Prince Jin will be able to help me climb to a higher position in the bureaucracy. In fact, Princess Miao Yin marrying me is considered marrying a lower status. With her status, she can find a better family. As for me, I'm just a poor country boy. If it wasn't for Prince Jin's help, I would be nothing right now. As Zhao Tianlong spoke, he felt that he had wronged Princess Miao Yin. He didn't think about how cold Shen Pan's heart would be after he said those words. Shen Pan found it difficult to breathe. She tried her best to calm herself down. With a trembling voice, she asked Zhao Tianlong, but husband, you already have me. You already married me. Don't tell me you still want to marry Princess Miao Yin. She's the one who married in later, do you want to be a concubine? Zhao Tianlong pulled the corner of his mouth and replied to Shen Pan, this is exactly what I wanted to discuss with you. In fact, it's normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. In the future, when I become a high official, I will definitely take in concubines. With Princess Miao Yin's status, it's impossible for her to be a concubine. Husband, what do you mean? If she can't be a concubine, what can she be? I'm already your wife. Shen Pan continued to ask. Her heart ached. She never thought that one day, Zhao Tianlong would talk to her. What normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines? Zhao Tianlong didn't say that when he married her. Instead, he told her that he would only be good to her for the rest of his life. She just got 3rd place and everything changed. He even threw away his previous vows, as if he had selective amnesia. At this time, she couldn't make a fuss with Zhao Tianlong. The more she made a fuss, the more Zhao Tianlong would dislike her. At that time, Zhao Tianlong wouldn't be able to bear it and would directly abandon her. Shen Pan finally waited for the day when Zhao Tianlong stood out. How could she do such a stupid thing at this time? Pan, I know, what I mean is that Princess Miao Yin will marry over. She will be the wife and you will be the concubine. Actually, this was just a title, and there was no need to care about it. Although you're my concubine, it's only in name. I'll still treat you as my first wife and treat you and Yang well. Zhao Tianlong held Shen Pan's hand and put on an affectionate expression. Shen Pan felt like she was about to vomit. When did her beloved husband become such a person? Did he take her for a fool? He wanted her to be a concubine and then said that he would treat her and her child well. Probably only a stupid woman would believe that. Once she became a concubine in name, she would be a lowly concubine that couldn't be seen in public. Even Yang was a bastard and would be looked down upon in the future. She had sacrificed so much for him over the years and had waited so long for this day to come. However, Zhao Tianlong had treated her in such a manner, which made her feel bitterly disappointed. Zhao Tianlong, for the sake of his future, chose to abandon her without any hesitation. Shen Pan's tears flowed uncontrollably from the corners of her eyes. When Zhao Tianlong saw this, he hurriedly wiped away the tears at the corner of Shen Pan's eyes and comforted her gently. What's wrong? Don't cry. Her husband's heart would ache. Chapter 2407. When Shen Pan heard this, she asked, Husband, is there really no other way other than marrying Princess Miao Yin? If you're willing to see me continue to stay in this desolate place without any hopes of becoming outstanding, then you don't have to marry her. But if you want to live a prosperous life and let Yang enjoy everything, then you have to marry her. There's no other way, for Princess Miao Yin to take a fancy to a poor boy like me is my great fortune. If it was an ordinary person, how could they have met her? Furthermore, I've told Princess Miao Yin about you and Daoda's existence. She's more willing to accept you. Pan, do you know how difficult this is? Zhao Tianlong's tone was deep. Shen Pan frowned and fell silent. She was also struggling in her heart. On one hand, she wasn't willing to let her man be snatched away by another woman. On the other hand, she didn't want to see everything return to the starting point when she was about to get what she wanted. She had enough of the bitter life in the countryside and didn't want to continue enduring it. Zhao Tianlong held Shen Pan's hand even tighter. As if he was making a promise to her, he said, Pan, I know I've wronged you, but I'll make it up to you and Yang in the future. I won't let the two of you suffer any grievances. If you can become an official in the capital, you'll be able to enjoy everything. You've suffered so much with me. Don't you want to enjoy it? Even if you don't think for yourself, you have to think for Yang. From now on, he'll be the son of a high official and not an ordinary country boy. When he grows up, he'll be able to study and become an official. He won't have to study as hard as me to pass the imperial examinations. It's all too difficult, I just want the two of you to live well. Hearing Zhao Tianlong's words, Shen Pan was somewhat moved. Zhao Tianlong was right. Even if she didn't think for herself, she had to think for Yang Yang. Who would be willing to stay in a desolate place like the countryside? Even if he was a bastard, the bastard son of a high official was still much better than the average person. He would be able to enjoy even more. After some consideration, Shen Pan didn't dare to make a fuss with Zhao Tianlong even though she was very sad. Instead, she chose to agree. Actually, what could she do if she didn't agree? It would only make the final result worse. Judging from Zhao Tianlong's current attitude, Zhao Tianlong would not be willing to give up such a good opportunity. Which man didn't want to be outstanding and have a meteoric rise? If she persisted, she was afraid that Zhao Tianlong would simply divorce her. At that time, she would be nothing, let alone a concubine. If she was chased back to her maiden home, she would only be laughed at. If she agreed now, it would not cause Zhao Tianlong to kick up a fuss. Instead, it would make Zhao Tianlong feel guilty towards her, and he would not treat them too badly in the future. As for men, how many of them didn't like virtuous and sensible women? Shen Pan leaned against Zhao Tianlong's chest and said softly, "Husband, I'm willing to do anything for you. Even if I become your concubine in the future, I will not complain. As long as you can become a high-ranking official in the future, it's fine as long as you have a promising future. You are my man and my sky. I will support you in everything you do and stand by your side." On the surface, Shen Pan and Zhao Tianlong were saying such affectionate words. However, her heart had already been severely hurt by Zhao Tianlong and she would never trust this man again. Chapter 2408. Zhao Tianlong was touched by Shen Pan's words. He hugged Shen Pan tightly and said, "Pan, you're the best. In my heart, you'll be a good wife for life. As long as I'm here, I guarantee that you'll enjoy the best in the future and become the happiest woman." Shen Pan pursed her lips and agreed with a smile. However, she did not believe Zhao Tianlong's words. Men were all pigs. They only made a few promises and forgot about them in the blink of an eye. Zhao Tianlong had said these words countless times before. Now, he was still going to marry another woman for his own future and forget about his vows. She had to start planning properly now. She had to grab hold of what she should get and what she should fight for. The two of them lay on the bed and slowly fell asleep. The next day, old Zhao's house was as lively as usual. The news of Zhao Tianlong coming in third place had spread throughout Yang City. After Zhao Tianlong returned, the nearby villages and influential people all came to congratulate old Zhao's house. Because he came in third place in the exam, and because of the capital, he was going to be a high-ranking official in the future. These people naturally came to curry favor with him. The more connections one made, the easier it would be to do things in the future. Especially the powerful squires, they had made friends with a lot of influential people. Even the district magistrate personally came to old Zhao's house to congratulate old Zhao. For a time, old Zhao's house was very popular. Because these people came with gifts, the first branch received so many gifts that their hands went limp. Old Zhao's house also warmly welcomed these people who came to congratulate them. After a few days of excitement, almost all the influential people in Yang City came. The gifts they received filled the entire house. After counting them, these things were estimated to be worth a lot of money. Therefore, the first branch, Hua Chunhua, and Zhao Baoshan's faces were filled with smiles for the next few days. This was only the beginning. When Zhao Tianlong became a high-ranking official, there would be even more. Under Zhao Baoshan's arrangement, a banquet was prepared for Zhao Tianlong. There was no need for the villagers to send money over. They directly held a banquet and invited the villagers to eat to their heart's content. Obviously, this was old Zhao's family's generosity. Actually, it wouldn't cost much to prepare a banquet, buy some ingredients, and hire a chef. Any one of those gifts would be enough to pay for a banquet. Although old Zhao's family was usually stingy, they weren't stingy when it came to important matters. These days, Zhao Tianhu, and the rest of old Zhao's family were in a different mood. In the beginning, Zhao Tianhu was also very happy when Zhao Tianlong came in third place. However, his mood slowly turned gloomy. After Jin Ju noticed Zhao Tianhu's strange behavior, she asked with concern, "Husband, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so gloomy these days? Everyone's so happy, but you're pulling a long face. Husband, are you feeling unwell somewhere?" Zhao Tianhu shook his head. "No, then what's wrong? Husband, what's wrong with you? Tell me." Jin Ju went forward and held Zhao Tianhu's hand. Zhao Tianhu looked up at Jin Ju and sighed. Actually, it's nothing. Ju I just feel that I'm so useless." Chapter 2409. Zhao Tianhu shook his head and said gloomily, "What's the big deal about working? It's all physical work. How can it be considered a skill? If this isn't a skill, then what is?" "Husband, you're capable because you can work. There are so many men in our village who can't do it." Jin Ju hurriedly comforted him. Zhao Tianhu sighed heavily, "Ju even if I work hard, I can only stay in the countryside for the rest of my life. If I can't make a lot of money, I'll bring you to a better life." Zhao Tianhu seemed very depressed, and there was a touch of guilt in his tone. Jin Ju frowned and pondered for a few seconds. She finally figured out the reason for Zhao Tianhu's depression. She guessed that Zhao Tianhu was so depressed because Zhao Tianlong came in third place in the high school exam. The two of them were brothers, but Zhao Tianlong stood out. He could only be like an ordinary villager. The huge gap between the two of them made Zhao Tianhu feel inferior. Jin Ju held Zhao Tianhu's hand and said with a smile, "Husband, what's wrong with staying in the countryside? I think it's very comfortable. Although we're not rich now, we don't have to worry about food and drink. Moreover, you're working so hard. Our lives are getting better and better. I believe that as long as we continue to work hard, we'll slowly get what we want. Sometimes you don't have to pursue so much. How many people can get a real life of wealth?" Zhao Tianhu looked up at Jin Ju. Jin Ju's smile had a calming effect. His heavy heart suddenly felt a lot better. Jin Ju held his hand and continued, "Husband, don't think so much. For me, as long as you're by my side, I don't think about how much I can eat or wear. As long as you love me, it's more important than anything else." Ju Zhao Tianhu looked at Jin Ju, very touched. With a wife like this, what else could he ask for? "Well, husband, no matter what, you have to be happy. Don't think so much, okay? If father and mother saw this, they would think that you are jealous of big brother." Yes. Zhao Tianhu nodded heavily. Zhao Yun'er heard the conversation between the two people and also felt that Zhao Tianhu did not marry the wrong person. If it were those women who liked to compare themselves to others, they would inevitably complain about their own men when they saw that their brothers had become outstanding. Actually, if two people loved each other and worked hard, they would definitely be able to live a good life. Sometimes, being ordinary was the true happiness. When a family was together, they loved each other dearly. Even a simple meal was better than delicacies. However, even if they lived in the countryside, they still needed to have a certain level of security. They couldn't live too poorly and had to earn some money. Zhao Yun suggested to Zhao Tianhu and Jin Ju that the two of them could set up a stall in the town to sell for money. Just like before, he sold breakfast. Although the income was not much, it was definitely better than farming in the countryside. There was still an income of a few taels of silver a month. As for making breakfast, the two of them might not know how to do it. Zhao Yun could teach them. It didn't take much time to learn. Jin Ju and Zhao Tianhu were very interested. It was a happy thing to be able to earn money with their own hands. This was especially true for long-term, stable income. Chapter 2410. Zhao Yun happened to be free these few days and took a few days to teach Jin Ju and Zhao Tianhu a few ways to prepare breakfast. They only needed to sell some dumplings and buns. There was no need for too many types. When the business was better, they could slowly add more. There was no need to prepare so many breakfasts in the beginning. If they couldn't sell, the more they prepared, the more losses they would incur. After Jin Ju and Zhao Tianhu learned, they excitedly prepared for the breakfast stalls business. They had much more to look forward to in the future. The two of them were hardworking. In addition, the breakfast that Zhao Yun taught them was very tasty. Soon, business picked up. At the end of the day, they were able to earn a few hundred copper coins. At the very least, they could earn 100 copper coins a day. It was much better than working. If they were purely working, they probably wouldn't even earn 50 copper coins a day. Their usual wages were only 20 to 30 copper coins. 40 copper coins a day was something that could only be found by chance. The couple's life gradually got on track. Zhao Yun's casual suggestion improved their lives and gave them a goal to strive for. They were very happy. Zhao Tianlong didn't stay in old Zhao's house for long. After a few days, he returned to the capital and waited for the imperial court to arrange a position for him. He would be an official in the capital in the future. The eldest branch didn't follow Zhao Tianlong. Instead, they waited for him to settle down in the capital before bringing them over. The eldest branch happily waited in the village. Not long after, good news came from the capital. Zhao Tianlong had become an assistant minister of the Ministry of Justice at such a young age. For any country bumpkin without any background, it wasn't easy. Old Zhao's family was overjoyed. Being an official in the capital was much better than being a deputy in Yang City. Furthermore, Zhao Tianlong was still young. He could continue to be promoted in the future. His future was limitless. After Zhao Tianlong settled down in the capital, he didn't bring old Zhao's family over. Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshi were puzzled. They were discussing why Zhao Tianlong didn't bring them over to live a good life. Although Zhao Tianlong had sent people to deliver many good things back to old Zhao's house, it was still different from bringing them over to enjoy life. At their age, they had never seen what the capital looked like, nor had they lived in a big house. They couldn't wait to move into Zhao Tianlong's residence in the capital so that they could live the life of an old master and an old madam. Even Hu Chunhua was looking forward to Zhao Tianlong bringing her over to enjoy life together. They waited longer and longer. They waited for a bunch of good news, but there was still no news about them being picked up. Hu Chunhua couldn't help but ask Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshi, "What do you think is wrong with Tianlong? It's been so long. He said that he would bring us over once he was done. Why is there still no sign of him? Did he forget about us?" Feng Zhangxia frowned and was equally depressed. "Mother, how would I know? I can't wait to move there too. The capital is a big, bustling place. I'm tired of staying in this small village. You're anxious. I'm even more anxious than you." Zhao Wenshi sighed. Compared to Feng Zhangxia and Hu Chunhua, he was calmer. "Mother, I think Tianlong has just been appointed and has a lot of things to do." Chapter 24:11. Hu Chunhua snorted, "Hee, it's not like we'll be in his way if we go over. If he doesn't have the time to pick us up, wouldn't he send someone over? I don't think he has the heart to do that. If he really cared about us, he would have picked us up long ago." Feng Zhangxia felt a little stifled after hearing Hu Chunhua's words. She also felt that it was strange for Zhao Tianlong to drag things out for so long without picking them up. Only the heavens knew how much they wanted to leave this rundown village and enjoy life in the capital. During this period of time, when he heard those people's compliments in the village, he felt a little smug. The villagers were very envious of them for being able to live in a big house in the future, eat and drink well, and have people to serve them. They would live much more comfortably than the rich people in town. Feng Zhangxia was eager to go to the capital because of the villagers' flattery. Other than living a life of being served, she wanted to see the prosperity of the capital. Feng Zhangxia was silent for a few seconds before discussing with Hu Chunhua and Zhao Wenshi, "Mother, Tianlong's father. Since Tianlong didn't come back to pick us up or send someone to pick us up, why don't we go to the capital ourselves? Maybe Tianlong is really too busy and forgot about us. If we go there ourselves, he won't have to waste his time to pick us up. Hua Chunhua thought for a while and felt that Feng Zhangxia's suggestion was feasible. If they went there themselves, Zhao Tianlong wouldn't chase them away. This way, they could live in the capital sooner. Thinking about the future, Hua Chunhua couldn't wait and said, "Eldest daughter-in-law, this is a good idea. Then let's take the initiative to go to the capital. Let's not dawdle. Since we've decided, let's do it tomorrow. Let's pack our things and go there." Zhao Wenshi thought about it. Since Feng Zhangxia and Hua Chunhua had said so, he had no reason to object. He nodded and agreed, "All right. Mother, the capital is quite a distance away. How are we going to get there?" Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned as she asked. "Take a carriage. We can't possibly walk such a long way, otherwise, who knows how long it'll take." Hua Chunhua replied. Thinking about it, this old woman's legs were not nimble. If they really walked such a long distance, he would probably be half dead by the time they reached the capital. Feng Zhangxia thought about it and agreed. For such a long journey, they could only take a carriage. It was impossible to walk, and the speed of the ox cart was too slow. He didn't know how many days it would take to reach the capital. Moreover, every single thing that provided shelter from the wind and rain made sitting on the ox cart uncomfortable. Taking a carriage was the best choice. It was fast and comfortable. However, the distance from Shuilan village to the capital was so far. If she rented a carriage, it would probably cost a lot of money. She was a little reluctant. Thinking that Zhao Yun'er's family had a carriage, she said to Hua Chunhua, "Mother, I'll go to the third branch and discuss with Yun'er. Let's see if Yun'er can send us to the capital in a carriage tomorrow." If she spoke properly, in case Zhao Yun'er agreed, they would save a lot of money. Although Zhao Tianlong was now a high-ranking official, Feng Zhangxia's habit of taking advantage of others had been for decades. She was used to it and couldn't change it in such a short time. Hua Chunhua nodded, "Eldest daughter-in-law, then you can go." Chapter 24:12. From afar, Feng Zhangxia's loud voice rang out, "Yun'er lass, Yun'er lass." At this moment, Zhao Yun'er was playing with the two children. Now that Tian had grown up for a few months, she could slowly crawl on the ground. Zhao Yun'er laid out a big cushion on the ground, allowing Tian to crawl around. Although Tian was a little girl, her character was like a boy. She liked to be noisy and couldn't stop for a moment. With one look, one could tell that she would be a lively little girl when she grew up. Zhao Yun'er didn't particularly like children who were very sensible and quiet. Sometimes, she felt that it was a good thing for children to be a little naughty and noisy. After all, children were born to be restless, so it was normal for them to be restless. When they were young, they should be allowed to release their natural instincts and grow up happily. When they grew up, they could also recall the happy memories of their childhood. Hearing Feng Zhangxia's anxious voice, Zhao Yun'er felt that something bad was going to happen. Every time Feng Zhangxia came to her house, wasn't it to ask for help? Zhao Yun'er was a little fed up with this eldest aunt. However, she still suppressed her temper and looked at Feng Zhangxia, asking, "What's the matter, eldest aunt?" Feng Zhangxia smiled and said somewhat embarrassedly, "Yun'er lass, eldest aunt wants to ask for your help." Zhao Yun'er had a look of understanding. "What is it?" "That. Yun'er lass, it's like this. Eldest uncle, eldest aunt, and your grandmother want to go to the capital tomorrow to look for your eldest cousin brother. Your eldest cousin brother is an official in the capital and has been too busy recently to come back to pick us up. We thought that going there ourselves would save him the trouble. However, the journey to the capital is too far, so we were wondering if you could use your family's carriage to send us there. This round trip will only take a few days. Otherwise, we won't be able to get there." After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, Zhao Yun'er's lips curled into a sneer. Sure enough, they were thick-skinned enough to come up with such a good idea. Unless she was a fool, she wouldn't send this family to the capital. A round trip would probably take 4 to 5 days. Not to mention that her body would not be able to take the fatigue from the long journey. Who knew if a woman like her would encounter any danger on her way back from the capital? This Feng Zhangxia only thought about her own benefits and did not care about the lives of others. Seeing that Zhao Yuner did not speak, Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and smiled embarrassedly. Yuner girl, eldest aunt knows that you are a good person with a kind heart, so I will definitely not reject you. When we get back to the capital, I'll have your eldest cousin brother thank you properly. By the way, the capital is definitely more prosperous than Yang City. We can see the world together, don't you think? After hearing Feng Zhangxia's words, Zhao Yun's sneer deepened. Auntie, to tell you the truth, I've already been to the capital once. I don't need to see the world again. Feng Zhangxia was stunned, then pursed her lips and said, I see. Then Yuner girl, just treat it as helping eldest aunt. Eldest aunt, you know that my mother is pregnant and I have to take care of her at home. How can I find the time to send you all over? Moreover, I have 2 children to take care of, especially Tian, who is still young and can't be separated from me. A trip to the capital will take a few days of fatigue, and my little body won't be able to take it. Chapter 24:13. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Feng Zhangxia was too embarrassed to ask Zhao Yuner to send them over. Feng Zhangxia's heart ached when she thought about how much money it would cost to rent a carriage. Yuner, just pretend that eldest aunt didn't say anything. Feng Zhangxia resentfully replied and then left the 3rd branch's courtyard. Zhao Yuner continued to take care of the baby. When she didn't have a child, she didn't know how hard it was to take care of a child. After taking care of Tian, Zhao Yuner realized that taking care of a child was really not easy. She didn't have to take care of the baby all day long. There were many people in the family, and everyone helping out could reduce a lot of the burden. But in the 21st century, Bao Ma was more or less taking care of the baby alone. There was no room to breathe. When the baby in Liang Jinxiao's belly was born, there would be another member of the family. Then, there would be more work to do. When it was almost lunchtime, Zhao Yuner went to the kitchen to prepare food. During this period of time, there were many people eating together at noon because of the pigsty, so she had to prepare more food. However, the pigsty was built very quickly and it was almost done. Now, they were just finishing up the work and enclosing a yard. When it was done, they would be able to buy some piglets to raise pigs. The tea on the mountain was almost finished with Zhu Eru and Mulan's work. They would be able to pick new tea leaves next year. There was no need to worry about the sales of the tea leaves. Previously, when the emperor stayed at her house for a period of time, he couldn't leave the tea leaves. It was a pity that Zhao Yuner didn't have a lot of tea leaves in her hands. Otherwise, the emperor would definitely bring a large batch back to the capital. When she had new tea leaves next year, she would have to send a large batch to the palace. If tea was popular in the palace, the princes and nobles would naturally compete to buy tea leaves. As a result, the whole of China started to drink tea. Her tea leaves wouldn't have to worry about sales. As for the future, everything was beautiful. She didn't have to worry about food and clothing. She would live a leisurely and comfortable life. She probably didn't even dream of living in the 21st century. During this period of time, the weather was getting colder and colder. It was estimated that it was the beginning of winter and they had to wear jackets to keep out the cold. In old Zhao's house, the 1st branch and Hu Chunhua couldn't wait to rent a carriage the next day and rushed to the capital. Zhao Baoshan did not accompany them. Instead, he advised them to wait at home for Zhao Tianlong to personally send someone to pick them up. Otherwise, who knew what Zhao Tianlong was up to and whether or not he would cause trouble for Zhao Tianlong. Unfortunately, no matter how much Zhao Baoshan tried to persuade them, he couldn't stop them. Thus, he had no choice but to let them go. Feng Zhangxia, Zhao Wenshi, and Hu Chunhua finally arrived at the capital after a bumpy ride in the carriage for 2 days. Compared to Sun City, although the businesses here were not as lively as Sun City, there were many magnificent buildings. The mansions were grand and magnificent, something that Sun City could never compare to. At the end of the day, the capital was right under the emperor's feet. There were more high-ranking officials and nobles, so the residences in Yang City were bigger. As long as they were officials, they wouldn't do too badly. Once they arrived at the capital, Feng Zhangxia, Zhao Wenshi, and Hu Chunhua stuck their heads out of the carriage and looked outside. Hu Chunhua hadn't been to Sun City many times. Thus, when she saw the prosperity of the capital, she couldn't help but sigh. Tisk, tsk, tsk. The capital is really different. It looks so much better than our countryside. No wonder everyone wants to come and live here. It's really good. Chapter 24:14. Tsk. Tianlong is really capable to be able to establish himself in such a place. Our old Zhao family didn't give birth to such a promising grandson for nothing. Hu Chunhua sighed. That's right, mother, the capital is so good. We can live here in the future and enjoy ourselves. Look at how big the houses of these officials are. That's right. That's great. This old woman has never seen such a big house in her life. I reckon that Tianlong's house is much bigger than third brother's house. Feng Zhangxia covered her mouth and laughed. Mother, do you even need to say that? Third brother and third sister-in-law's house is considered big in our village, but look at the capital, which house isn't bigger than third brother and third sister-in-law's house? Hu Chunhua nodded in agreement. That's true. There's always someone better than you. If you don't go out and see the world, you won't know how good the outside world is. Luckily Tianlong is promising and came to the capital to be a high-ranking official. Otherwise, we might not have come to the capital in this lifetime. Feng Zhangxia said with pride on her face. Perhaps the most bragging thing in his life was giving birth to Zhao Tianlong. How could an ordinary person give birth to a third-place scholar? Hu Chunhua patted Feng Zhangxia's hand and sighed. Our old Zhao family only has Tianlong, and this child is the most promising. Your father and eldest brother's decision back then was right. Luckily, Tianlong was studying. Now that Tianlong has made a name for himself, we should let him be filial to his parents and nurture him. If you didn't spend money on him, he wouldn't have made a name for himself. I know Tianlong's character, he's a filial child. The few of them chatted as they walked into the inner area of the capital. They didn't know where Zhao Tianlong lived. After all, this was their first time in the capital. However, they asked around on the streets for the location of this year's third-place scholar. Soon, they found Zhao Tianlong's residence in the capital. The few of them drove the horse carriage and soon arrived at Zhao Tianlong's residence. The carriage stopped in front of the gate of the mansion. Zhao Wenshi and Feng Zhangxia got off the carriage first, then helped Hu Chunhua down. Mother, we're here. Hu Chunhua replied with a smile. She raised her head to look at Zhao Tianlong's residence and sighed. Boss wife, is this where Tianlong lives? Feng Zhangxia nodded and said, Mother, he said so it should be true. Hu Chunhua squinted her eyes as she sized up Zhao Tianlong's residence and sighed. Tsk. This residence is really big. How comfortable would it be to live in it? Mother, it's useless for us to just think about it. We'll only know when we move in. Let's go in now. Feng Zhangxia urged impatiently. Okay. Hu Chunhua answered happily. She couldn't wait any longer. The few of them had never seen the world and directly walked into the residence. When they reached the gate, they were stopped by the guards at the gate. What do you want? The guard asked coldly. Feng Zhangxia smiled and said, Little brother, I'm your Lord Zhao's mother. I'm here to look for your Lord Zhao. Hu Chunhua put her hands on her waist and said, I'm your Lord Zhao's grandmother. Don't be so long-winded. Hurry up and get out of our way. I want to go in and look for my eldest grandson. Chapter 24:15. Especially Feng Zhangxia, Zhao Wenshi, and Hu Chunhua. They were dressed poorly and looked like country bumpkins. They did not have the imposing manner of Lord Zhao's family. They might even be beggars who came here to play. How could these country bumpkins be allowed to act so impudently in a place like this? The guard impatiently chased them away. Go go go, hurry up and leave. Don't make a ruckus in front of our gate. Hua Chunhua was a little angry. She pointed at the guard and scolded, how can a servant like you be so rude? I already said that I am your Lord Xiao's biological grandmother, yet you treat me like this. Be careful that I don't let your Lord Xiao skin you alive. Feng Zhangxia was also a little displeased. I am here to find my son, why are you stopping me from entering? The guard's temper was not very good either. He angrily replied, do you think I will believe whatever you say? Lord Xiao is of noble status, you are just a few ordinary country bumpkins. If you are really Lord Xiao's relatives, why wouldn't he personally send someone to bring you here? Why would he need you to send yourself here? Hua Chunhua rolled up her sleeves. She was angered by the guard. Sigh, what are you saying, you stinking brat? If we are not real, then are we fake? Where is your proof? Do you think we are just because you say so? I advise you to hurry up and get lost. Don't make a ruckus in front of the gate. Otherwise, I will not be polite. As he spoke, the guard pulled out his sword and threatened. Hua Chunhua, Zhao Wenshi, and Feng Zhangxia were all shocked. From the looks of it, they were really not allowed to enter. They did not think much before coming to the capital. Who knew that they would encounter such trouble after coming here? If they could not enter, how were they going to find Xiao Tianlong and live in this large residence? Feng Zhangxia suppressed her temper and smiled fawningly at the guard. Little brother, please don't be angry. We are really Lord Xiao's relatives. How about this, I will have to trouble you to go in and inform your Lord Xiao to come out and see me. Then, the truth will be revealed. The guard at the door waved his hand impatiently. Go, go, go. Our Lord Xiao is not in the manor, so he can't report to you. Besides, even if he was here, it wouldn't work. The three of you look so poor. How are you Lord Xiao's relatives? Why would Lord Xiao come out to meet him so casually? Where did Lord Xiao get his skills from? The three of them were at their wits' end. Since they were trying to stop them from entering, they couldn't just force their way in. However, he was unwilling to leave just like that. After 2 bumpy days, he finally arrived at the capital. No matter what, he had to find Xiao Tianlong and meet up with him before moving into the mansion. Otherwise, wouldn't all their hard work these past few days be in vain? Zhao Wenshi frowned and asked, hey, what should we do now? Was he really going to let it go? Are we going back now? That won't do. Hua Chunhua pursed her lips. It wasn't easy for us to come here, and now we have to go back. Not only is it tiring, we'll probably be laughed at by the villagers when we go back. Everyone in the village knows that we came to the capital. Feng Zhangxia sighed and said with a frown, ah. What should I do? It wasn't easy for us to come to the capital, but we can't see Tianlong. Really? Why don't we just wait here in the mansion? Tianlong will pass by the main gate when he goes out or comes back. When that time comes, won't it be fine if he sees us? Chapter 24:16. Alright. Let's wait for Tianlong to arrive. After the three of them discussed, they sat down at a corner in front of Xiao Tianlong's residence and waited quietly. As they were tired from the long journey, they did not care about the dirt on the ground and sat down. When passers-by saw them, they thought that they were beggars, and some kind-hearted people even gave them a few coins. After waiting for a long time, they finally saw a luxurious horse carriage stop in front of the residence. A man's figure came out of the horse carriage. He was dressed in official robes and wore an official's hat, looking very imposing. At first, Zhao Wenshi and the other two did not recognize him. However, after taking a closer look, they realized that it was Xiao Tianlong. Xiao Tianlong, who was dressed in official robes, had a noble aura around him. He was different from the poor and destitute people who studied in the countryside. After that, another woman came out of the horse carriage. The woman was not old, slightly younger than Xiao Tianlong. The clothes she was wearing were very beautiful. One look and one could tell that it was made of expensive silk. The embroidery on it was even more exquisite. Some of the accessories on her head were made of gold. She gave off a graceful and luxurious feeling. The woman's appearance was also very outstanding. She was much more beautiful than the women in the countryside. Only this could be called a great beauty. As Zhao Tianlong carefully helped the woman down, a gentle smile appeared on his face. Zhao Wenshi quickly rushed over to Feng Zhangxia and Hu Chunhua. Tianlong is back, Tianlong is back. Hu Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia were originally sleepy. However, when they heard Zhao Wenshi's shout, they immediately became energetic. Back? Yes, yes. Ah, it really is Tianlong. Let's hurry over. Hu Chunhua quickly got up from the ground and ran towards Zhao Tianlong. Zhao Wenshi and Feng Zhangxia followed closely behind. Hu Chunhua happily shouted, Tianlong, Tianlong, your grandmother and your parents are back. Hu Chunhua was used to her loud voice in the countryside, so she didn't care about the occasion at all. She thought it was the same as in the countryside. Hearing Hu Chunhua's voice, Zhao Tianlong looked towards Hu Chunhua and frowned. His eyes were filled with disdain and displeasure. However, Zhao Tianlong was not in a position to flare up, so he could only control his emotions. When Hu Chunhua arrived in front of them, Zhao Tianlong asked in a deep voice, Grandmother, Father, Mother, why are you here? Why didn't you tell me before coming over? I didn't even know. Hu Chunhua smiled, Tianlong, you said that you would bring us here after we settled down in the capital, but we waited in the countryside for a long time and you didn't come to pick us up. We wondered if you were too busy and forgot about us, so we took the carriage to the capital to save you the trouble of sending someone back. The corner of Zhao Tianlong's mouth twitched. Actually, he purposely didn't pick up Hu Chunhua and the rest. Originally, he was born in the countryside, but when he became an official in the capital, he was looked down upon by many nobles. If it wasn't for Prince Jin's help, he probably wouldn't have been able to continue living in the capital, much less become the assistant minister of the Ministry of Justice. If he brought his parents and Hu Chunhua and the rest to the capital. With their temperament as country bumpkins, he didn't know how many jokes they would make. He was someone who cared about his reputation, so he didn't want them to embarrass him. Before he established himself, he couldn't withstand too much mockery and ridicule. Chapter 24:17. Who would have thought that instead of sending someone to pick them up, his parents actually came to the capital by themselves? At this moment, Zhao Tianlong's situation is extremely awkward. It's not good to let Zhao Wenshi and Feng Zhangxia go back, but it's also not good to not let them go back. Zhao Tianlong frowns and doesn't say a word. Zhao Wenshi also mutters, Tianlong, you've been busy these days. Father, mother, grandfather, and grandmother have all been waiting for you at home for a long time. But it's fine, we came here on our own. The residence that the imperial court arranged for you is really good, it's really big. Look at how imposing this residence is, we can live in it in the future. Hurry up and bring us in to take a look. Your grandmother has been running around for 2 days. She's already so old and is different from young people. Her bones can't withstand the torment. Zhao Tianlong awkwardly stands there, not knowing how to respond. The woman beside Zhao Tianlong, Princess Miao Yin, frowns when she sees Zhao Wenshi, Feng Zhangxia, and Hu Chunhua. She asks, Tianlong, these are your father, mother, and grandmother? Princess Miao Yin's tone reveals a trace of disbelief. What she couldn't figure out was that Zhao Tianlong looked gentle and refined, and was also very cultured. How can such an outstanding man have such vulgar relatives like Hu Chunhua and Zhao Wenshi? Just listening to their tone and the content of their conversation, Princess Miao Yin can't stand it. They are completely like country bumpkins who have never seen the world. If she were to live with such people in the future, she would go crazy. Without waiting for Zhao Tianlong to reply, Feng Zhangxia chuckles and steps forward, that's right, we use Tianlong's father and mother. This lady, what's your relationship with our family's Tianlong? You look really beautiful, your identity shouldn't be simple, right? Could it be that you're good friends with our family's Tianlong? Zhao Tianlong gently tugs at Feng Zhangxia's sleeve. Mother, what are you doing? Feng Zhangxia smiles embarrassedly and replies, Mother is just concerned about you, and casually asked. Tianlong, quickly tell me, who is this lady? What's her relationship with you? Zhao Tianlong didn't know what to say, but he still had to tell his family about this. Although Princess Miao Yin was a little disgusted with Zhao Wenshi and the other two, she endured it for the sake of Zhao Tianlong's family. She smiled and introduced herself to Feng Zhangxia. I'm Sky Dragon's wife. Ah. Feng Zhangxia opened her mouth wide, her face full of shock. Why did this woman say that she was Zhao Tianlong's wife? Sky Dragon has already married a wife and is now at old Zhao's house. It was not as if he was afraid that Yang Yang would not be able to withstand the torment due to her young age. He had probably brought her along with him on this trip. Why did Zhao Tianlong suddenly have another wife? Why did she have another daughter-in-law? That. Sky Dragon. What's going on? When did you marry another one? Does Pan know about this? Tianlong. Mother is confused by you. What have you been doing in the capital these days? Zhao Tianlong's face was gloomy. There was no way to hide it, so he could only say, Mother, Pan, already knows about this. Your new daughter-in-law is the current princess. If not for her, I would not have come third in the imperial examinations, much less become an official in the capital. Miao Yin and I just got married a few days ago. Now, she's my wife. Chapter 24:18. If they hadn't come to the capital personally, they wouldn't have known about this matter. At first, they thought that Zhao Tianlong's third place in the exam was just that, but they didn't expect there to be such a trick behind it. Zhao Wenshi asked in confusion, Tianlong, you're really something. Why didn't you inform your family about such a big matter? Even if it's a wedding, the parents have to be present. First, bow to heaven and earth, then bow to the parents. The parents weren't present, so what did you bow to? Thinking about it carefully, Zhao Wenshi was still a little angry. A child's marriage was a big matter. No matter what, it should be discussed with the parents. It wasn't that they disagreed, but the parents weren't present for such a big matter. It was fine if they weren't present, but they didn't even receive any news. Wasn't this showing that they didn't take them seriously? Father, Mother, Shuilan village is so far away, and the wedding was arranged in a hurry. We didn't have time to invite you over, please forgive us. The parents we bowed to were Miao Yin's father, Prince Jin. Zhao Wenshi snorted, a little unhappy. That won't do. Your parents didn't know and didn't come. I say, Tianlong, don't tell me you want to marry into their family and become a live-in son-in-law. It wasn't easy to raise his son, and he was his pride. If he married into their family and became a live-in son-in-law, he would belong to their family. Even if he received more glory and wealth in the future, he wouldn't allow it. Otherwise, when the news spread to the village, they would be laughed at by the villagers. Zhao Tianlong's mouth twitched, and he replied, Father, what are you talking about? I'm marrying Miao Yin, not marrying into her family. If I really want to marry into her family, I'll definitely have to discuss it with you. Zhao Wenshi dropped the subject, it's good that it's not. This kind of thing can't be done. Father, I know. Zhao Tianlong's tone carried a hint of impatience. He was afraid of losing face in front of Princess Miao Yin. It was easy for a country bumpkin to make a fool of himself. Feng Zhangxia sighed and asked, Tianlong, if you marry the group leader, will she be your wife or concubine? Mother, with Miao Yin's noble status, she'll naturally be my wife. But you've already married Pan, She also married into your family first. What does Pan count for? She didn't make a fuss about it with you, did she? No matter what, Feng Zhangxia was quite satisfied with Shen Pan, as her daughter-in-law. She even helped her give birth to a grandson. Now that Zhao Tianlong had married Princess Miao Yin, Shen Pan naturally felt wronged. She could not help but remind Zhao Tianlong. Mother, Pan, her status isn't as noble as Princess Miao Yin's. From now on, Pan will be my concubine and Miao Yin will be my wife. I've already explained it to Pan, and she agreed. Zhao Tianlong explained. When he said this, he felt a little guilty. But for his own future, he had to do it. After spending some time with Princess Miao Yin, Zhao Tianlong realized that Princess Miao Yin was a woman that Shen Pan couldn't compare to. She had both looks and talent. She was proficient in zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting, and was able to chat with him. Most importantly, their family backgrounds were not bad. They could be of great help to him. Shen Pan was a gentle and considerate wife. Although Shen Pan had sacrificed a lot for him, in the end, it couldn't compare to Princess Miao Yin's sacrifice.